Hello, everyone. I will call this meeting to order. Could we just rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So now we would need a election of a moderator. We need a nomination from the floor. Or nominations. Thank you. Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations, take a vote on the moderator. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved. Nominations are now closed. Eligibility to vote. Any person who is an elector, this is a town meeting, of course. Any person who is an elector of such town and any citizen of the United States of the age of 18 years or more, who jointly or severally, who is liable to the town for taxes assessed against him or her on an assessment of not less than $1,000 on the last completed grand list of such town. Reference Connecticut General Statute, Section 7.6. That's your eligibility to vote. And Kate, if you could read the legal notice.
A special meeting of the electors and citizens qualified to vote in town meetings of the town of Berlin will be held at the Berlin Town Hall, Council Chambers 240, Kensington Road, Berlin, Connecticut, on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, at 6:45 p.m. for the following purposes: approve a non-budget appropriation of $800,000 general fund unassigned fund balance to the transportation alternative grant match account.
Thank you. So is there a resolution now to come before the town meeting?
To approve a non-budgeted appropriation of $800,000 from the general fund unassigned fund balance to the transportation alternatives grant match account.
Thank you. Second on that? All right, thank you. For discussion. So now we have our discussion. We're in our town meeting, special town meeting. And what do we all think about this? First, members of the audience, if anyone is here from the audience that wishes to speak. I think I see anybody online. Oh, is that Mike Ahern? Is that you? His hand is up, but no. Okay, all right. Or he's just waving at us. Yes.
Do you need any background or you have all?
Yes, I think give us a little
Quick.
Yeah.
One, Jim's
Yeah.
here too.
yes.
So. Somebody walk in there. So the
Yeah.
town has an opportunity to apply for a transportation alternatives grant through the Capital Regional Council of Governments, the CROG, for 3.2 million with a town match of 800,000, which is a 20% match. So the funds will be used to build new sidewalks around the schools to create safe routes for students, parents, and neighbors. This initiative is in our current plan of conservation and development. So it's not that the money was available, opportunity was there, and we came up with the idea. So it is one of the things that's listed on the plan of conservation and development.
Okay.
And I could actually have Jim, he's ready to give a quick overview of the project itself,
Sure.
that you understand what you're voting on.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney, I turn it over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, good evening. This grant, the proposal involves 4 of our 5 schools. We would have included the 5th if we could have fit it into the budget, but we have the 3-school cluster of Berlin High, McGee, and Willard, and we're doing sidewalks in the vicinity. And as you know, we have in Berlin, the sidewalk system has evolved over time, so we have a lot of missing pieces. This project would be intended to fill in those missing pieces so that more people could, more children could access the schools, particularly, but also we know that the schools are the locations, and nearby the schools are locations of many parks and recreational facilities. So area residents can access those as well. And And these sidewalks will also connect our residents to open space areas and more residents to the downtown. So it does have multiple purposes. One of the criteria of this particular grant program was one of the highlighted options was safe routes to school. So that's what we chose as our theme. And I think it's consistent with what where we are in our sidewalk network mission here. And then the additional sidewalks would be at around Hubbard School. And then hopefully at some point in the future, we would be able to add some sidewalks near Griswold as well. This particular grant is a federal grant that comes down through the state and through the region, and comes down only every several years. So this would be for some future federal fiscal year funding. And it's kind of our opportunity to apply and get in the queue for this grant program. Also, just to tell you a little bit about the timeline, the first part of the timeline is very quick because CROG expects to recommend to DOT the projects by June 26th. So hopefully we'll know pretty soon whether we're at least made the first round. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Yeah, just so it's just those three schools now, Hubbard,
The four,
McGee.
so it would be Berlin High,
Yeah.
McGee, Willard, and Hubbard, 4 schools.
and Griswold later.
And we'd have to, and another grant, another time,
project.
you know, that's all we could fit in. Yeah, that's all we could fit in the budget.
Okay, I mean, I wonder if there's a way, I know it's late now, but I wonder if it's a way to configure this project where because I know there are some sidewalks missing around Griswold too. I mean, I hate to leave them out certainly, but didn't you have a couple other plans you had told us that were a little bit less of
Yeah, I mean, we could, you know, we tried to prioritize, and then, you know, this was kind of a project that we had to do a lot of work on the application in a relatively short period of time. So it evolved. And as we got the linear foot cost estimates more close to reality, that number went up. And so we had to drop sidewalks. And, you know, I mean, I think we will have some, you know, flexibility. Usually with DOT, they've been flexible with us about, you know, shifting certain sidewalks in and out as long as we, you know, predominantly are following the plan. And also we're planning on, as we had discussed previously with the council, working on a plan for a connectivity grant application, which would be for next spring. So hopefully we could get it all in between the two.
what do you folks? There's nobody in the public, so we'll just whatever you folks. Council members. Yeah. Zoom.
Do I have to identify myself? Okay. With my home address as well? I don't usually do this. This is Donna Veach, 1218 High Road in Kensington. Thank you for working on this. I know that I submitted a letter of support regarding this. I've got a few reservations. I was up in Hartford when you first spoke about this, and really because we had to get it done so quickly, I do have a couple questions. Is there, and I know it's prevailing wages, it's a huge nut. $800,000 is a lot of money to have to put out on a project. Certainly we want to make sure that the kids are safe and secure on their way to and from school. So I do believe it's got some merit. Does it have to be as extensive as we're showing with just the few schools that we have? Is there anything that we can do for Griswold? Why are they being
as I
left out of the loop? I'm not quite sure.
Well, again, it really, it was you know, we did a prioritization on what we could fit within the budget. And, you know, again, the 3 school cluster seemed to make sense as the core, because those sidewalks service, again, 3 schools rather than 1. And then we had to choose between Hubbard and Griswold. We had fewer sidewalks that we were proposing near Hubbard. It fit in the budget. Topography was easier. With the Griswold plan, there's kind of a couple of pieces. One is the more straightforward is coming up Alling Street to Heather Lane and completing the sidewalk on Heather Lane. And that ties it into some of the, center of Kensington sidewalks. But the other piece of our master plan for Griswold is to go, Beechwood, Gladding, across Chamberlain Highway, missing pieces on Chamberlain Highway out to the Vineyard Drive. So that was a lot bigger nut. And, again, as I said, I think we can, we've put the application in. I think we will have the opportunity to try to, if we make the next cut and we want to make some changes to the specific sidewalks, happy to put that in the hopper and see if we can do it. And as I said, I think DOT has had flexibility in the past as we went, to the bidding. Sometimes everything doesn't fit in. Sometimes priorities change a little bit, and they've worked with us. So I think we can, if the council wants to tweak the priorities, we'll certainly work with you on that.
Right, and lastly, I'd just like to mention, do we have any idea, I had 3 kids that went to high school and elementary school here in town. And I don't think not one of them ever used a sidewalk, okay, to get to any of the schools. They were either on a bus or getting a ride. And, to make and I don't know how much of an investment we're making in the high school level, but do we really, are we going to get our return on investment, I guess, in terms of, putting sidewalks at the high school instead of over at, Hubbard or Griswold, more, sidewalks at Hubbard, sidewalks at Griswold. I mean, most of those kids are either on a bus or driving or getting a ride. I mean, are they really utilizing sidewalks in that neighborhood? And a lot of the elementary school kids are either getting a ride. I guess the bottom line is how many kids are really walking to school these days? Do we have any of those numbers, Mr. Cugno? Is there any way that we can get those numbers? I mean, I'm just curious, I mean, we're looking to make a $4 million investment in sidewalks. And granted, some of it is being given to us from the federal government, but we're putting a big piece in, and I certainly think that everyone needs to be safe. That has nothing to, I mean, I'm definitely for that. But let's just make sure that perhaps there's something that we should be doing differently regarding this. Thank you.
Anyone else? Comments, questions, concerns? I know, well, I don't, the 800,000, that's an issue. I don't know if I know I think this was this, I didn't hear that meeting, but the Board of Finance talked about this, I understand, I think, right? Did they, Arosh? Did they? Did Kevin talk to them about it, Delaney?
Yes, and Mr. Mahoney will join the Board of Finance meeting to further explain.
Okay,
I guess
yeah.
their question was, they understand the leverage factor is huge.
They
and
do.
We should take advantage of it, but the question to the council is this the highest priority you have?
Yes,
So if it's yes, I would recommend that you take a vote and send it, but if you have other things that you want to discuss that you think are more important than this initiative, we should.
well, I do agree that I mean, we put in, I mean, here and we'd put sidewalks across Chamberlain Highway and have kids walk across there. That would be the worst thing we could ever do. But because that's, even Norton Road with sidewalks, I see people where there's sidewalks walking on the road. I don't even, on Norton Road, coming down the hill, I mean, I run on that road all the time and I'm on the sidewalk because it's pretty scary. But the speeds of people today, right, wherever you drive is scary. But, so we got to make sure, I mean, the closer to the schools, I think makes sense. Certainly in the suburban neighborhoods, I think we need, I mean, Heather Lane, I mean, the sidewalk ends, I think, well, it ends on Briar Lane there, right? It doesn't end there. It doesn't go the rest of the way to Alling Street. I mean, stuff like that, make it longer, connect it to more homes, even if you went down, people are going to walk in that general area. Peter lives there. I used to live there. So, that's the general area you'd have, but to expand it way out, I don't know what kind of bang for our buck we're getting for that. I just don't see today folks walking on their way to school, other than in the immediate neighborhoods, where it's safer for the folks to, especially around the elementary schools. You don't want, it's hard enough, even though they're with their parents, most of them, but crossing any street today is dangerous, but yeah. So, I mean, is there a way to,
Yeah, the question is, Jim, I think you
configure
answered the question earlier. If the council so desires to tweak the plan so that we can accommodate some of the areas mentioned here, can we do that at a
that's a question.
further point? Because we are early in the process here. We don't even know whether we made the short list.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to express. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but I think the answer is yes to that we can tweak the priorities.
Could we shrink them if we wanted to too, once we put it in, or no? That's what we're committed to?
I mean,
I-
I think that the number, if you want to shrink the number,
Mhm.
we should, again, it's kind of a rapid process here. So, we're kind of in it. They're going to make a decision in the next month. So I don't know whether we have the time to, significantly to shrink the number and get reconsidered.
Why didn't we
Mike's
have
on
more? Why didn't we have more time? Is it just
Uh,
popped up out of nowhere, or why are we so pressed for time?
Well,
for
we saw,
spending $800
the
grand?
RFQ is relatively recent, as you know.
Okay,
We did talk to the council about it, at
yes,
two
you
meetings.
did,
We
correct.
had to, we hired, we got some consultants to help us with this project, did the cost estimating, again, it was short timeline.
So, Board of Finance, are they're meeting tonight?
No.
They're not meeting tonight, next week, right?
Yeah.
Next week, yeah. I think I think from what I heard, they expressed some concerns about where's the money coming from out of fund balance.
Yep.
I believe, right? Which Mr. Delaney has argued against lowering that fund balance past, what does he want now, 13% in there or something like that? So this might do that. I don't know, we get conflicting advice from, things like that, Is it our first priority? It's our priority. I think the closer to the schools, the better, no question. Some that are not connected, that you have a sidewalk halfway down one street, like Heather Lane, and you don't finish it on that street, or even turn it down to make sure all the other, connecting streets where these are elementary school kids, they're not going to walk, 2 miles to school. They're not even going to walk a half a mile in most instances. So there should be sidewalks, agreed, for those folks in that area. But I don't know if the grand scale is going so far out that no one's going to use them. I mean, I don't see people use them in a lot of places, but, Peter, anything? Yeah, you guys have anything? So I don't know. So what do we do tonight with a lot of questions? When's the drop dead date? So it goes to the Board of Finance next week? Is that it? Jim,
Yeah, next week. I don't know. Is it next
Yeah,
week?
yeah. Yeah, sorry, Peter. We all know you, but there's still some people in town don't know you. I find that hard to believe, but I know they know you.
Don Rosso, I think Jim explained it best. We have flexibility.
Yeah.
We have time to alter if we need to plan, but I would like to go ahead with.
All right.
I think we could tweak it.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I think it definitely needs to be tweaked. No doubt about that. Yeah, Charlie.
Charles Vanessa, 1906 Chamberlain Highway. I just want people to understand it's not free money. We're gonna get $4 million project, $800,000 of our local tax dollars. But as soon as we take a federal dollar, we have to use a Davis-Bacon structure in the contract. But we're gonna get maybe $2 million worth of sidewalks for $4 million, because it drives the cost up at least double. So for 800,000, we're gonna wind up with maybe 200,000 of real value, 2 million, I'm sorry, real value. But it's a real trade-off, and we all want safe kids, I get it, and we want the sidewalks. We got so many other capital issues in town. I don't know if this is really want to put $800,000.
Yeah, I mean, I just think we could maybe better configure it to the ones that will be used more. You know, that they would be useful instead of, you know, we put sidewalks in just to put them in and feel good about it. Well, feel good about sidewalks, but if no one's using them, I don't know what the, you know, what's the point of spending that kind of money, but, all right, well, we can vote it. We still obviously can talk about it after we close this public meeting too, obviously, right? Yes, yes, sir. Mr. Kugnow, how are you?
Evening, everybody. Jeff Cugno, 34 Chatham Road. Just to maybe clarify a couple things, and
Sure.
if
Yeah.
if you wanted department at the Board of Ed to further look at, along with Jim and his consultants, get an idea of who's walking where. Also, on top of that, the sidewalks have to do with where the bus stops are.
Right.
Got to get kids to the bus stops safely.
Right,
Even if they're a little bit farther away from the schools, you got to get, like you mentioned, Chamberlain Highway.
Yeah.
Chamberlain Highway, we've deemed non-walkable
yes, thank
for a
you.
lot of reasons.
That's a good decision, Jeff, yes, yes.
And we have a lot,
It's not drivable on many times either, yeah, but, yeah,
we have a number
Yeah.
of other ones, Hart Street.
Yeah.
Where we're,
Get it.
actually the superintendent and I have gone out and walked these streets.
Yeah.
Parents are always concerned about,
oh, yeah,
never mind walking on it, walking away from the bus stop down the street to a bus stop that may be 4 houses away. It still is dangerous.
yes,
Walking down Chamberlain Highway.
yeah,
So we
no
look
doubt.
at that stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is
Good,
provide more information if you'd like,
that'd be great,
relative to
that
getting
would help,
information you need on
yeah,
who's walking,
yeah,
riding.
that'd be great,
So you can at least be comfortable with where the sidewalks are if you need. I saw Jim's plan. It looks like a good plan to me with
Yeah.
with what was used.
Mhm.
But if we can help you answer more questions.
that'd be, yeah, could you work on that?
Yeah, well, I'll talk, I want to make sure we're getting what you want,
Yes,
but
that's,
and I, with Roche or Jim and
yeah,
Mr. Mayor.
yeah, that'd be good to,
We have a way to find out all this information, or
Yeah.
at least to extrapolate numbers. to
Yep.
come up with some reason.
I think numbers would be helpful, and maybe we tweak it where we are covering the most dangerous, the critical, most dangerous areas. That's really, I think, what we're trying to
And I
accomplish.
think, and Jim, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that everybody that's applying for this, and I don't think everybody's gonna get the grant. but
Yeah.
Everybody that applied for the grant, I think, had to move pretty quickly to do this. This isn't easy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Which means they're probably saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Can we make it a little better as time goes on before we actually have to fund it?
Right.
Only the federal government allows that. So I would,
Yeah.
I would agree with Jim that there's a possibility of still doing more things if it works.
Yeah, all right, we
Before we
appreciate,
go,
yeah,
if
yeah,
I
yeah,
may.
yeah.
So timing and logistics of when you can get that information.
Well, if I knew
Because-
well, I can have people start working on it immediately. But depending on what information you want and how much much time it's gonna take to get that information credibly. We have things like how many people take buses. See, we have to work our way back.
No, you're right,
We know
right.
how many kids go to school. We know how many kids take buses. We know generally who's being driven, but how many kids are in each car, we don't know. So it's one of those kind of.
Yeah, so that's not gonna happen before the grant application is submitted.
That's going by June 28th.
I know, I
Well,
was,
yeah,
Yeah,
it's already
wasn't-
submitted.
what, sorry,
It's already submitted. We're just,
But- right.
Right.
But can we tweak it before that official date?
I think we can, we can probably tweak it better after that date.
After
But
that
we can
date.
get our act together.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
what I was
Let's
assuming.
get through CROG.
when you had time to get it all correctly.
Yes. So, I mean, time is of the essence for that information at least, so we can at least have some time to
Yeah.
look at it, right?
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think, even when you look at, if we couldn't get it to you in the next 2 weeks, credibly get.
Yeah, I get it.
Background, we don't want to give you wrong information,
No, we get it.
criticized.
Yeah,
When you do decide, or if you get the chance to get the grant, then we can take a good amount of time to using whatever models we need to make sure we provide the information correct. That's what I was suggesting. I wasn't suggesting.
Yeah.
throw it out in the next week.
Yeah, no, we know you couldn't do that in a week, probably. I'm sure you could, but
Well, I
it'd be
could come up
tough.
with some figures. I couldn't
Some-
guarantee they were
some-
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, so.
we like the good figures.
I
Yeah, we like the
figured.
good ones. Yeah, we get it. All right, appreciate that. Yeah, if you could start on that, Jeff, that'd be great. Appreciate it. All right, so where are we at now? There's not anybody else? No other comments? We're good? Ran over our time. It's okay. It's important. So we have a vote on the resolution? Where's the, yes. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, Donna. Yes.
Donna Beach again, 1218 High Road, Kensington. Was Griswold in the initial packet or no?
No,
So
right? I don't think it
why
was.
are we talking about Heather Lane? Because isn't that next to Griswold?
Yes.
So that's
The-
not even an option.
Well,
Again, the Griswold section is not in the application. I thought you asked me, about Griswold, could we do Griswold? So I was
Yes,
explaining to you how we would do Griswold, because we did look at that. And
So
how would
Griswold's
you
on-
go out?
Okay, so excuse me, so if Griswold's only, Heather Lane, that's the main street that comes off of
Right.
where the Griswold School is. If that only has like a half a sidewalk's worth of sidewalk,
Yeah,
half a street,
sure.
I should say, wouldn't that be a priority, especially that close to that school, right? I
But
would think.
those,
kind of what I'm
there's-
saying, yeah.
yeah, the problem with that is that there's nothing, if we just go down Heather Lane to Alling Street, that sidewalk doesn't connect anything. So, it's great
Because-
for the students that live on Heather Lane, but, if they live anyplace else, it doesn't get them there.
Because there's no sidewalks on Alling Street.
On Alling, I think it's.
There's none on
it's,
Gladding, I don't think.
there's sidewalks on Alling, but you gotta, go down to whatever.
Further down.
Sterling, Charles,
Yeah.
around
Yeah,
there,
past-
Way down, way down.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we would, we would propose, as if we were to do Griswold, to try to do Heather Lane piece and the Alling Street piece, would be the priority.
I would just like to, for us, and you said that we can tweak it. I'd like to look at everything in terms of, where we can put our money, where it can get the best value for us and the children in those areas. Thank you.
Right. And just to say that, we did, as Jeff said, we consulted with the Board of Ed, we consulted with the Police Department Officer Bobick. And, again, it was a short time for everybody to look at it, but we did have multiple eyes on this thing through the process.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So we have a vote on the resolution. So, which will just send it to us for more discussion if we want. So we'll go ahead and take a vote on that. All those in favor of the resolution we read before?
Right.
Aye. Or I should be saying there, Charlie should be, or he could second it, right?
It
was
already moved in second.
It was, okay, so all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved. And the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all. Right, our next meeting will start very, very shortly since we're late. Sorry about that.
Do you want me to stop the recording? I do.
Okay, we will. All right, we'll call our town council meeting to order and we'll rise for the, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Kate.
Councilor Atkinson,
I'm here.
Councilor Polo. Here. Mayor Kaczynski.
Here.
Councilor Payanessa.
Here.
Councilor Cleveland.
Here,
Councilor Rosso.
Here.
Councilor Veach. Here. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We have our audience of citizen up next, so we have some folks that have signed up. So we'll go with Jonathan Fife from Bright Feeds. Yeah. Hi, Jonathan, welcome. Yeah, up to the podium if you would.
I'm Jonathan Fife, I'm the CEO of Bright Feeds. We're located at 76 Fuller Way here in Berlin. Yeah, thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, so I wanted to speak to address some of the odor complaints that we've received about our facility. I'd say before the odors, really towards the end of last year, we started running overnight. And we started to receive sound complaints. There was a specific frequency that it's not very loud at our facility, but it would travel with the wind and hit several neighborhoods. And so we had a resident who reached out to us and went out and ultimately, realized it was a problem that had to be addressed. We got on top of it right away. And I know my colleague at a prior meeting spoke about the solution that we put in place.
Yeah.
Many of these things aren't off the shelf. So we did careful engineering, installed a real system. I think we put that issue to bed towards late February. Ultimately, closer to when we installed the sound systems, some of the odor complaints picked up. I've been speaking with Arosha and several residents and businesses. And almost immediately after putting in the sound system, we turned to addressing odors. Since that time, and that was about 2.5 months ago, we put in place several different procedures as well as started looking at solutions. So on the procedure side, we established an odor hotline to have an organization around some of the complaints that we were receiving, so everyone was aware right away. We could dispatch someone from our facility, be there within 15 minutes. Obviously, these things are very important to be there at the time of any complaint. We would take notes on if we smelled anything, what it was, what we were running, to try to better understand, what the smell was at the time the complaints came in. We also have, our office manager walking up and down blocks several times a day just to record anything. And just, again, patterns, trying to understand. Odors can be a little more tricky. And it's very important for us, as we thought about a system to install, that we really understood the problem so we could fully put it to bed. And I think many companies would start cheap and move up. So maybe start with a spray or deodorizing system and then go up. We evaluate at the same time we started taking notes and better understanding the smells. We evaluated 6 different systems, all different types. It was important, like the noise, to get it right. It's not something that we want to be lingering 6 months from now. It's something that we wanted to address right away. And then, they're not on the shelf, and a lot of times have to be custom designed based on your process, and a lot of careful engineering. And so we, several weeks ago, we ordered a system. It was not a cheap system. It's something that is going to be fully installed in about 2 months. And it's, we did a lot of testing. A lot went into, the decision. But we think this will, like the noise, fully, eradicate, the issues. And again, just because odors are tricky, we just did a lot of homework, to make sure that we pick the right system. It's very important to us. Obviously, I know, our mission is to clean up the environment. And so, I'd say the last few months in receiving some of these complaints have been difficult for us, but we're very committed to, being a good neighbor. And we know that's the first step in, solving the broader food waste problem. And, we'll do whatever it takes. So we're, again, very, very confident this is going to completely put this issue behind us. We went probably overboard on our system design, but, we'll be back and monitoring very carefully, and, communicate when it's installed with the town. And, anyone wants to come to our site at any point, we're committed to making sure this is completely behind us. So.
Well, that's great. We appreciate you coming here and certainly working on the noise issue first. And we know the odor is also a problem, but I know you've been working hard to do that, and that's good corporate citizen to do that. We appreciate that. We have a lot of good companies in Berlin. I think you're one of them.
Thank you.
Now that we got to know you and see that you're stepping up to this problem, so we appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Questions, folks? You have any questions? Yeah. Don.
So, thank you for coming in today. We appreciate it. There were some residents that did reach out to my office in Hartford regarding the smell issue. Very happy that they got the noise down pat and you were able to put that, piece of equipment in. So I thank you for doing that. And personally, I've actually smelled, I'm not sure what, but on a couple different occasions, I have smelled a funky smell when shopping in the plaza that's close to your facility. And actually, on the Environment Committee, we all toured your facility, and it's wonderful that you're able to do with, being environmentally conscious, if you will. So because the smell is a different animal, if you will, do you have any idea when you think that piece will be completed?
Yeah, we expect it to be fully installed in about 2 months.
About 2 months, okay. That's great news. I'm sure that the locals that are getting wind, and really some of them are even getting smells across the highway.
Yeah.
So I thank you for your diligence in getting this done, and I wish you the best over there. It's a great concept, really is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
I really
Okay.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other?
Just
Questions? Yeah, Mark.
one other comment I'd like to make. First of all, thank you for coming down and giving the council an update as to what's going on. If there's any delays whatsoever, say, because the way things are nowadays in the corporate world, that you may not get the right parts or whatever for your system, but if there are any delays going past this 2-month time frame, can you just notify us and let us know that, hey, we're delayed 2 weeks, or even if it gets done earlier,
Absolutely.
that would be most appreciated.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll reach out. I've been, communicating directly with Arosha quite a bit, and we'll definitely make sure to communicate as we get closer to the install date, exactly where we stand.
That's perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Next on our audience of citizens, Toby Schnei.
Hi, Toby Schnei, 121 Zepp Road. I'm here to speak on the disc golf course at Pistol Creek. Currently, I'm a sponsored professional disc golf player, and I also happen to work at the high school in the special ed department. I run all of the unified programs as well, and I see this as an amazing opportunity to open up the high school to a new community and a new sport. I have spoken to a bunch of my colleagues, including most of the gym teachers, and there happens to also be another male professional player that teaches at Berlin. And we are hoping that as soon as this course gets put in, we can not only start a disc golf club and make a team, because there's other high schools in Connecticut that currently have teams, and start up a new, hopefully soon, CIEC varsity sport. I also am a huge advocate for sports adaptation. I have a disabled brother in town. I absolutely love working with the Unified Sports Program, and I see this course as a gateway to adaptation in their later years. Disc golf is a very longevity sport. You could play it at any age. I know people 65, 70 still playing. And with these kids and their limited capabilities, disc golf is not a barrier. So having that in town for them is absolutely amazing. A few of my sponsors and a whole bunch of the community has already started donating discs. So we have about 200, 300 discs already at the high school and already being used by the kids. There's so much interest and it's so exciting to see. And again, it's just with the ADA walking path there, it just makes it so much accessible for all kinds of, I have a few people in wheelchairs that'll be able to go out and play. And this would be so revolutionary in the sport too, especially in Connecticut. So it's really exciting to see.
Well, it's great to hear from you. Glad you came and told us all that info. It's great info.
Thank you.
And then we have another, on the list, we have Steve Allen of comedy fame back in the day. You won't remember who the original Steve Allen is. Some of us old people. Yeah, no, not at all, yeah.
The Tonight Show.
The Tonight Show, that's right, yeah.
One of the originals.
Yeah, that's right. There
I
you
wish I could say that I was part of his lineage. I probably would have driven a different car than a Toyota. But no,
Maybe you'll get there. You're still young enough. Yeah, you never know.
Let's drive.
That's right.
One day I'll get like a vintage Mustang and pull it up here.
There you go.
Or drive it to the disc golf park. So,
Yeah.
Steve Allen, 23 Cradle Lane. I've lived in town for going on 7 or 8 years now. I've been playing disc golf recreationally for probably 15 plus years at this point.
Okay.
When I started playing, there was only a few courses in the state of Connecticut. I've played pretty much almost every single probably course in the state of Connecticut, a lot in Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, Florida, a few other states along the way. What I'll just say is just generally drastically support the proposal to put a course in at Pistol Creek. Pistol Creek to me is a wonderful resource that the town has. It's effectively a gem that this proposal to put a course there would maximize the efficiency of using the sections of the course that are of the property that are currently going underutilized. It would have no interference. We can manage it around the way the park is currently being utilized today. Toby spoke to a lot of the specific benefits of the location of Pistol Creek. In general, disc golf, a lot of courses are very different across New England. The terrain's different. There's rolling hills, there's forest-based parks, there's Wickham Park, which is, a wedding venue, which has one of the most beautiful courses in the state of Connecticut. And this proposal, because of the existing infrastructure, the walking paths that are utilized by everybody of any aging capability today, due to the low-lying land nature of it, it is extremely accessible from anyone that's 4 years old to someone that wants to bring their grandkids out. It can be designed in a manner that you can do a very quick, just trip to the park for an hour and back, where they want to play maybe the front 9 versus the back 9. The other, advantageous aspects of disc golf are really that it's extremely low barrier entry sport. I mean, besides the fact that Toby's, collected in donations of up to in the hundreds of discs. I probably got 50 in my basement I can grab as well. But the reality is that, anyone as far as accessibility, on the, let's say on the lower income side of the residents of this town, one disc is $15 probably.
Oh,
And,
okay.
if you want to go out with your kids, you can get one, and as long as you don't lose it, you'll have it.
Yeah.
And so it can be situated as an extremely, low entry cost, accessible sport. The specifics to the Pistol Creek, around the, I've been playing for as long as I have, but so for instance, I have a brother that has a prosthetic leg. There's not a course really in Connecticut that would be extremely accessible to him. This would be. So there is a lot of benefits around what could be utilized, in my opinion, of trying to maximize the, the use of a park that's otherwise going underutilized. For all the residents of Berlin and the neighboring town. The other reality of it too is that, Berlin's kind of interestingly located, that although there have been a bunch of parks that have popped up over the years, there's a couple in Bristol, there's one in Panthorn Park in Southington, in the heart of Connecticut, besides Keeney Park, which, although it's beautiful, it is in the kind of north end of Hartford. There's not a lot of other centrally located locations which can bring people to the town to utilize the facilities. So I just wanted to come here and speak my general support, nice fine people, and I guess that's it.
Well, appreciate that. Hey, before you go, just a couple, well, since you played for such a long time, so at Pistol Creek, and obviously the accessibility is great because of the paths there, right? They're pretty level and easy to, so how does that affect, so the disc fly, so I'm just walking by, not paying attention, it's a nice day, and boom, I get hit in the head with a, you know, what it could be a bird or I guess a disc, but what, like, how do we have, I don't think we've got that far yet, probably, right? Where we would lay it out there, I mean, well, we can, that's a way off if we, you know, do approve that, but,
I believe Steve will be addressing.
oh,
the
okay.
role As far as like how we can
Okay.
get that, but in general.
Is that right, Steve? Yeah,
Design.
okay, good. I figured,
I'll let him-
we know Steve has it, but that's fine,
But
but,
no, but the specifics of the layout and the design can be kind of constructed in a manner where.
yeah,
The trajectory of a disc would be nowhere near.
gotcha, okay, that, yeah, that's,
The key is really the design of the flow.
okay, yeah.
in The direction of where you start to where you.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, appreciate that. And I know Steve will certainly fill us in. But not till he fixes the lights at Sage Park on the baseball, but he'll fill us in after that maybe, but sorry, Steve.
I wish I had a Steve Allen joke.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So that's all on our list. If anyone else that's not on the list is welcome certainly to speak. If not, seeing anybody, no one's online, right? Okay, we're going to close the audience of citizens. Just real quick, mayor's update, just a couple things I want to remind people of. A lot of stuff going on in Berlin. All fun, most of it. We have our Memorial Day parade coming up. You know, the Veterans Commission has organized that again. That's going to be on the 27th, May 27th, Monday the 27th, upcoming Monday. Starts at 9 a.m., goes down Farmington Avenue around the corner. Mysterio Drive and ends there, and there'll be a short ceremony after that. So that's on for that day. Let's pray for no rain, although that's very difficult lately. I don't know what the deal is, but and then after that, an interesting thing is the Connecticut Freedom Trail, the Berlin Historical Society at noon, 12 to 2. That's on 305 Main Street. They have the award-winning documentary film screening. It's a 29th Connecticut Regiment. It's a film they produced a while ago. It's a 15-minute film about the history of African-American outfit there in the Civil War. So it's won a bunch of awards. So kind of honored to have them doing that here. And obviously they're from Connecticut, so it's pretty cool. So that's after the Memorial Day parade. So there should be plenty of time to get there. Just mentioned we have an award ceremony on May 30th next week at the Berlin Police Department at 4 o'clock for some of our officers, some of the outstanding things they've done to help the town out, you know, over and above typically their awards, obviously over and above what they do every day to keep us safe, which is difficult to do in today's world. And we do have, I wanted to mention this, a resident wrote in, June 2nd is Wear Orange Day. It's a gun violence awareness day for folks. You know, I'm sure you could go online and find it. It's all around Connecticut. I think it's might be all around the country actually too. And just to, you know, kind of rally, and obviously there's things we could all do and, you know, help folks that have issues and hopefully don't use dangerous weapons to end it. And that's any kind of violence. Obviously, we're not for anything, but we know with weapons, the law-abiding citizens take care to store them and do the right thing with them, but other folks do not. And certainly we want to just pay attention to that and make sure our elected officials, Connecticut is, fortunately, doesn't have the worst problem with violence, but using firearms, but there still is a lot of improvement we could all make. And I just will throw out my own personal experience is that, and that's on, I'm sorry, that's June 2nd is the day, Wear Orange. And I guess that came from a family member that unfortunately was shot and killed in Chicago, but they chose to wear the orange vest that, you know, people wear, the hunters wear, and folks working on the roads just to kind of point it out to kind of protect themselves. But, you know, we have a lot of laws on against weapons, and there's having been in the federal government and law enforcement, we need to enforce some of them. That's part of the problem. I saw that for 30 years, whether I was in California, Virginia, Connecticut. We have a lot of laws out there, and I know we continue to pass more, and that's good. Things tweak, things change, but if we don't enforce them, it doesn't really do much good as far as firearms themselves. Law-abiding citizens follow the law. Obviously, the folks that are causing some of these problems around our country, wherever we may be, don't follow the law. So the laws that are in place to protect our law-abiding citizens need to be enforced. So that's one thing we could do amongst many others. So that's June 2nd. And finally, Thursday, July 17th, at St. Paul's Church. This is pretty cool because we've been talking about doing stuff like this. I've seen some people on social media the last couple of years trying to get a concert going. We've had some concerts with the armed forces down at Veterans Park, but this is by our local band, Locomotion. I'm sure you've heard of it, very popular local band. That's a Thursday night. I think the rain date's 2 weeks out in August, but July 17th, it's from 6 to 8, I believe it starts. In conjunction with the town, St. Paul's is hosting it on their, the lawn there by the gazebo. And the town is also helping our police department. Obviously, it's a town coordinated effort with St. Paul. So that's coming up. So that'll be fun for the summer, and we'll see how it goes. I think we're gonna have an ice cream truck and some other stuff there, but the main attraction is the band. And again, they are a great band, having heard them before. So that is my update. So let's move on to our consent agenda, which is consisting of, that's quite the consent agenda tonight, right? So I'm just going to run through it really quickly. Accept a donation of $9,000 for our senior center donation account. Number one. Number two, we are approving the Metro Swim shop to sell swimsuits, caps, goggles, bungee cords, and a date at Percival Pool in June for the Berlin Dolphin swim team. Waive the vendor fee. Approve donating 1 meeting table to Lions Club and move up to donate 18 meeting room tables to neighboring libraries. That's a value of about $380. Accept monetary donations to the Friends of the Library miscellaneous account to be used for program supplies, and move to accept the donation of books with an approximately of $22 to be added to the appropriate book department. Number 5, approve the request of CCARC to waive the building permit fee for replacement of the heating system at Chamberlain Highway, the new building that they have moved into. And that's a fee to be waived with approximately $5,800. Number 6, approve also request from CCRC for return of the electrical permit fees to work completed on their building. Helping those folks out. They do a great job with many folks that need assistance. CCRC, another building permit waiver. Accept a donation of $12,800, appropriate the funds to the police canine program. Number 9, accept the donation of $650 and appropriate the funds to our supplies account. Number 10, approve permission for consumption of alcoholic beverages at Timberland Park for, that's a annual picnic that has to come through us for approval. That starts at the Park and Rec after they fill out their application. Number 11, approve the ice cream truck, Mamma Mia's ice cream truck. I'm sure Peter knows about Mamma Mia's ice cream truck. To be authorized to sell ice cream, snacks, and beverages at the following parks and playgrounds: Clark's Grove, and Charlie too. And Donna too, honestly. I'm half Italian too, we all know about it. So, at Clark's Grove Pool, Percival Pool, and Sage Park over the summer. And Jeff too. I mean, I don't know, we're kind of taking over here. I don't know what the story is. Whoa, everybody knows Mamma Mia, come on.
Gelato.
Yeah, that's a gelato, right? Right, gelato. Oh, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Well, I'm half Polish. I don't know the whole story, but approve permission for consumption of alcoholic beverage. That's another party at Bridal Shower. I choked Peter up on that one. And those are all our that's our consent agenda. We've all reviewed this before. So if there's anything we want to know about, if not, we'll go ahead and take a motion, Charlie.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Second on that? Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
All right.
We go on to regular business.
Yes.
All right, the first item on the agenda is the transportation alternatives grant that we just discussed.
Yes.
There are two action items that we are requesting. One is to authorize a non-budgeted appropriation of 800,000 from general fund unassigned fund balance. Refer this matter to the Board of Finance. The second one is to move refer the proposed sidewalk project to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a Section 8-24 review.
Yes. And yeah, right. And of course, we just had the right, we just had our public meeting on it, town meeting. So what are we thinking, folks? We're gonna get some more information from, I know we have a time to modify some of this and tweak it, which is good. It's still, of course, has to go to the planning and zoning, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they've got to review it. It'll end up going to the Board of Finance too, right? So we have some time. What's our pleasure? We talked about it in the hearing. I don't think there's any.
I think we should advance it at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need some tweaks, but I agree.
Yep.
If we could tweak it and cover a few other things maybe. And let's see what the other folks think and what the school system tells us to, they know it better than we do. And, we can work with that too when we get that final information. Anything? What do you think, Charlie?
I just want to understand, at this point, we're applying for the grant, it's not guaranteed.
It's already in there, yes.
But it's not guaranteed.
Correct. No. No. But there's still a chance to tweak it, right, Jim? That you told us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Is
Je-
is there potential that we only get a portion of the grant, or is this the type where it's all or nothing?
Good question.
Is that the max that you put in for?
Put in for the max, right?
Yeah.
It's
We're
on the
breaking up.
committee, so I don't know if Mike has any.
He's freezing.
It's freezing. Kind of looks like a
Right.
statue there. Now it's freezing up, right?
It's moving.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, is it?
Okay.
Do we not get, would we not get all of it? Is that, do we know how that? Huh?
We
That's
don't know.
possible.
Yeah.
So we don't know what it would
possible.
be. It'd be up to the max or any number under that, whatever they come up. with. Which would change our contribution, obviously, however, if it were to be lowered, we would match it with less, of course, right?
Yes.
Right,
Are we
right.
supposed to hear
Mi-
back on that grant?
At the 28th
The
of June.
28th, they said?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll know next, we'll actually. Staff is gonna make its recommendations to the Transportation Committee.
Yep.
By then, or hopefully we'll advance, but Mike's on the committee. So he will have some, on that too.
Yeah, your connection is horrible, Jim. We're just breaking up a lot, so we can't really understand you. So I guess he's
Sorry.
saying
You must have
you can
Verizon.
apply, yet two things we can do. We can tweak the grant application between now and end of June. The second one is if we get less, we'll adjust accordingly and hopefully bring it back here and see what lower plan you want to do. Just a comment on this, this is similar to what we have in downtown, right? The vision for the town is make it walkable, healthier for people. And same with the POCD, when we went through the whole process of getting community feedback, POCDs were developed based on what the residents of this town wanted.
Mhm.
So.
Correct, that's a good point.
And
Yes.
this is not just for school kids, I
Nah,
live
it's
in
for
an
everybody.
area where there are no sidewalks. It's a must these days if you want to walk or jog. people texting and driving get run over if you're walking on the, on the side of the road. So I see this as a vision for the town. If the neighborhoods are connecting, healthier communities, not just kids, but the parents and residents taking more advantage of the sidewalks. So this is the 10-year plan for the plan of conservation and development, that this is the direction we want to go. So I know 800,000 is a big number, but that's for the council to decide. If it comes in at a smaller number, I think it's an opportunity. It's a good leverage, 20 cents on the dollar. And if it's not addressing some of the needs that you had expressed here, we'll try to work it out between now and end of June.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. What do we think? Anything else, folks?
Just
No, we good?
prevailing.
For motions? All right, so we'll get two motions here.
Move to authorize a non-budgeted appropriation of $800,000 from general fund unassigned fund balance to transportation alternatives grant match account, and to refer this matter to the Board of Finance.
Thank you. Second on this. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Right, so moved. And motion two.
Move to refer the proposed sidewalks project to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a report pursuant to section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes.
Second. Thank you. Any other comments or questions on this? Hearing none, all is in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Jim, you're going to stay on the line for a little bit.
Stay on the line.
Agenda item number 2, speaking of the plan of conservation and development, there was an implementation committee that was formed in October of 2023. And it also, we said we're going to give periodic updates to the council. I know Maureen is here, very close to the POCD.
Yes,
So we-
Maureen, we know that. Yes.
Highlight
Lucky you.
Where
Yes.
we are, and I
Yeah.
think she might call on Jim to comment if he can ever, you got a different view now.
Oh, another view of Jim.
Right.
We like it, Jim.
I
I'll
like
I'll
that
turn
one.
it over to Maureen.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Jim and I are here tonight to support your town council liaison, Councilman Woman Capola. Update you with the the activities of the Plan and Conservation Development Implementation Committee. As noted, I'm going to try to keep it short. You've talked about a few of the things already. As when I walked in the room, I noticed a few things were being talked about, but and I'm going to reference the materials that were distributed so that I don't have to reread them all. I don't think you want to do that.
Oh, sure we do, Maureen. Come
Yo.
on.
Now, if it was a planning and zoning commission meeting and you wanted to stay till midnight, it'd be a different matter.
You appreciate that more.
Yes, that is a good thing.
As noted on the agenda item, and as you may recall, last October, you appointed 9 citizens, members of town boards and commissions to serve on the implementation committee. And their charge is to facilitate the goals of the implementation plan over the course of the next 10 years and help them come to fruition. Jim and I are here as staff members to that committee and to answer any questions you may have. So far, the committee is scheduled to meet quarterly over those next 10 years. And so far has had 3 meetings. The first, last November, was a startup meeting, familiarize everyone with the plan, distribute it, review it, et cetera. And then they were going back to their boards and commissions to discuss the charges of those commissions to take actions. In the months since, the expectation has been that each liaison has connected with their boards and commission and has started some action plan on their part and to, so for instance, Conservation Commission has found that, they're the lead on a number of items and a number of those items are high priorities. So then you have to prioritize those high priorities. So they're working on doing that. They've been working through their meetings as well as a couple of the commission members working independently with each other to get that done. And I believe the rest of the committees are working similarly. The most recent meeting was the end of April. That was their 3rd meeting of the implementation committee. And the focus was on Economic Development Commission actions and the discussion of the cultural section, specifically supporting farming endeavors and a plan to foster success to keep the agricultural nature of Berlin alive. Tonight, we provided you with the status report on the implementation plan, and I'm gonna just pull out a few key items off that plan to highlight some of the status and items that we've been working on. So the first section was the environmental section. Strategy 2.6 to prioritize acquisition and linkage of open space and interconnections. Town acquired the Reservoir Road property at the Southington line and relocated the Wigwam Road right-of-way to create a potential new trail connection between Timberland and Ragged Mountain. 8.1, to improve the town's trail system, the CFPA has completed relocation of the Metacomic Trail in the Blue Hills Conservation Area. 8.5, to improve the connections of Pistol Creek with Middletown and Lamentation Mountain through trails. And the recreational trails grant application for March funding round was submitted in cooperation with Middletown and the Pistol Creek Lamentation Mountain area. Also relating to open space and trails, Number 9, stewardship and information. I think it's important to acknowledge the CFPA, the Connecticut Trails and Parks Association. They work to maintain the trails that go throughout town and help to relocate trails off private lands. And they've done a couple of those this past year onto adjacent public lands. The Conservation Commission efforts also include installing signage to mark access points and add trail mapped QR codes and website information to the signage on the trails. Housing, heard a lot about housing this year.
That's for
So
sure.
you're familiar with some of that, and we did distribute the housing summary in your package. But the state to recap, the state annually publishes the Affordable Housing Appeals List, which indicates which towns have at least 10% their housing stock is affordable. And when you hit that 10%, you then become exempt from Section 830G of the Connecticut General Statutes, which is the affordable housing provisions that circumvent zoning. The Flats at Littlebrook project, which was the workforce housing project on Deming Road, was completed in December of 2023, and that added 88 qualified units to our list. And that's the list that will be effective June 30th, 2024. The list goes on a fiscal year. This will leave the town about 45 units short of the new 10% goal. So that goal is always moving.
Elusive,
Yeah, it is very elusive.
very elusive, yes.
We lose some with financing that people have
Oh,
on their
okay.
own individual homes. So that's something that town.
I was gonna ask, how do we lose them? So we lose it on
That's
that?
a place we have no
Okay.
control over.
Gotcha.
We've had some that were deed restricted for a certain number of years and
Oh,
then
right.
fallen off the list. Some of those were approved in, say, the late 90s, early 2000. After 20 years, they've fallen off the list. The affordable housing is now generally a 40-year, but with the expectation expectation, not the right word, the goal of the Planning and Zoning Commission to actually have it be more than 40 years. When projects come in, they're asking developers to provide a more than 40-year.
So it was
restriction on
It
that.
was 20
Yeah,
and it went
I
to
believe
back.
when the statute came into being, it was a 20-year.
Okay, now it's 40.
And now it's 40 in the
Okay,
statute.
gotcha.
Right now,
Why is that?
for the first time, the town will have the potential to receive 10% goal by June 30th, 2025.
Hmm.
We have several
Wow.
projects
Very nice.
that are in process that possibly could land us at that goal.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow, that's great.
This includes the completion of 16 affordable units that are now under construction as part of the 80 phase one of 404 Berlin Turnpike, that's just south of Deming Road, that mixed-use project. We have other projects that are approved and under construction, 309 Main Street in East Berlin, that has a couple of units. 200 to 212 Mill Street, that is another mixed-use addition. They haven't started construction, but they were approved. The settlement of the 1696 Berlin Turnpike Little House Living Plan, that will add 4 more units, so we're moving along.
It's great.
But there was also number 1 on the housing list, an amendment to the senior housing provisions of the zoning regulations was approved. That goes to goal or strategy 1. And 3.1 deed restricting the units at the Berlin Mobile Home Park is something that's being worked on. So those are, that's housing. Economic development, several actions are affected by the Economic Development Commission engaging with the consultant that worked on the POCD to continue analysis of the zoning regulations to foster modern viable economic growth. So there, we're working to look at our business and industrial zoning and see where improvements can be made and working with the business models that we're now getting inquiries on. 6.1 and related, progress is continuing at Steel Center. On those Steel Center, we're enjoying watching that be filled up, and all the commercial spaces are leased at both 9 and 10 Steel Boulevard, and construction started at 29 Steel. The remediation of 55, that's the small building, immediately behind 9. The remediation of the 55 Steel Boulevard, that will be the multifamily site, is currently paused, but construction restart is expected in 2024. We're waiting on some brownfield grant application information that's pending. Transportation, we also distributed the capital items information, and that covers some of the progress in that area. But to summarize, Christian Lane, Porter's Pass, the Deming Road reconstruction was completed. 6.6 miles of local roads were repaved. 6.86 miles, I'm sorry, I missed that. 3.6, sidewalk, $780,000 sidewalk grant was secured, and an application for 3.2 million sidewalk grant was submitted. And I think you heard enough about sidewalks, but
Oh, let's talk some more.
I did bring my computer if anybody wanted me to share information, if we can get the share thing going, we can do that. There's time and you want me to.
Absolutely.
Others, 3 strategies. The RAISE grant application was submitted by CROG with participation of Berlin, Newington, and Weathersfield to plan for the pedestrian safety and improvements on the Berlin Turnpike. And 6.2, the public bus transportation routes have been added and now serve all the way down and into New Park Drive. It's a real exciting.
Yeah, that was
And
good. That was great.
I know with Planning and Zoning Commission, we've been, reviewing plans and going, oh, that's a bus route. And then you go, no, it's not a bus route. So it's really exciting to be able to say that now. Hard work of economic development. Facilities and services, 9.1, the police station renovation is underway, funded in part by a state grant. HVAC system upgrade underway at Willard School. Bonding approved for projects at Griswold and Hubbard. And the town applied for grants to offset some of the costs. Number 1, on the facilities and services, the town purchasing vehicles and equipment using the town fund balance and state municipal revenue sharing funds. 2.2, funds are approved to replace playground equipment at Little People's Playground and to fund a study for redevelopment of the East Berlin Pool Complex. And the Wash Bay project at facilities of the town center, town garage area. Cultural resources, and that's the last section. I'm almost done. The Historic District Commission is exploring programs to enhance the Worthington Ridge area by replacing canopy trees that have been removed over time. Town Council created the Ad hoc Arts and Culture Committee. And 4, tying back to what I started with the presentation about the last implementation meeting. The implementation committee is seeking ideas to support farming. And we'll be looking to direct Planning and Zoning Commission with some ideas and ability to modify the regulations, amend the regulations to farming. So I think that's it. You do have the 3 attachments. That's the implementation plan that I just read off of, the affordable housing and the capital items information. I don't know if Jim has anything to add if he's not frozen.
We'll see. Well, I think you did a good job, so I'll answer any questions if I can.
Okay, folks, any questions on this? No? Appreciate the info.
Nice job.
Keeping us up, yeah, keeping us updated is great. Lot going on, which is good. All good stuff.
Maureen's doing a
Yeah,
great job
yeah.
leading that group, and honestly, I can say that all of the people that have been appointed to the implementation commission are really committed to it. They're going back to their commissions and their work.
Oh, nice.
So it's really nice to see that
Excellent.
happen.
There's a lot of interaction at the
Yeah,
committee meeting.
it's a really good group
That's
that's
great.
committed to making things happen. So
Good.
it's nice to see.
Yeah, that's good. Great to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
very
you,
much.
Maureen.
We're good.
All right, agenda item number 3.
Mhm.
I think if all of you are ready, we're gonna go and play some disc golf.
Yes, gonna head over there. Well, it's getting dark, maybe
Yep,
not, but
it's starting, so,
wait for tomorrow.
no action needed, but Steve's gonna.
Oh,
talk
the glow, that's right, they do have the glowing ones, right? Ah,
About,
interesting.
just-
Yeah.
Park closes at sunset.
Oh, always somebody's gotta spoil something, yeah, always a spoiler.
Posted.
It's posted. Oh, there we go. We can waive that for one night.
No exceptions in Spruce Brook. Do you guys all have a map of the proposed area?
Yeah,
Yeah, Yep.
So Rob Lemire brought this to us about 6 months ago.
Yep.
He builds and develops disc golf courses throughout the Northeast.
Mm.
And came to us and said he thinks this would be a beautiful location.
Mm.
We kind of mulled over it for a few months, kind of got some feedback back and forth from a bunch of different people. And then at the last Park and Rec Commission, residents came out and spoke on it. Toby spoke this afternoon on the Board of Education stance on it, how they'd be able to utilize it. So I guess I'm just here to kind of throw it out there. We've been in contact with cross country, both McGee and Berlin High School, of how this would impact them.
I read that, yeah.
And it would follow the same way the dog park does, that anytime there's an event, we close the dog park and we close the park. So there's no residents or anybody interfering with the
Oh, okay.
student
Okay.
athletes. We just think it's a lot safer, especially in
Gotcha.
today's day and age.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Yep.
our plan would be this, is we'd like to roll this out in phases. So the first phase that we'd like to do is we'd like to purchase the baskets, install the tee markers, and open up it and let people start to play to see what kind of negative feedback or positive feedback we got from the residents in the area. For many years, there hasn't been anything going on at Pistol Creek.
Mm.
50, 60, 70 people more walking around might draw their attention. They might get close to their backyards, which is, yes, town property, but sometimes it just makes people feel a little uncomfortable. So then
Mm.
we'd have a good idea then if we should readjust the course or if the course is good the way it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna try my best. So nobody laugh. So supposedly you have like 22 discs that go in a backpack. And it's the same as a regular golf. You have a larger disc, which would be your driver, which gives you the initial throw. It gets you the distance you want to go. And as you get closer, you'll have like little smaller ones that you want to hit the basket, which is on page 2. Then it falls into it. So it's played just like the game of golf, but with a Frisbee instead of a golf ball. Shorter distances.
Short distances. So the drive is not gonna be like 300 yards off the. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
We need to establish a disc commission.
I just commission.
No, we'd put that on the Park and Rec. We're gonna
That'll be
we're
a,
gonna delegate that to Donna Bove.
yeah, that'll be a subcommittee of the Park and Rec.
And then the second phase of it, we would work with
Another commission.
Rob Lemire on making tee boxes. And tee boxes are framed out with 2x10s, and
And then they take a piece of synthetic turf, they put it over the top of it, so you can get a running start and throw it. We would try to locate those somewhere, probably right around 10 feet off the cart path, just so the cross-country kids didn't run into them. And that's
It's a good idea. Yeah, yeah.
and Rob Lemire, who has been building them all around the state, offered to build them, construct them for free.
Oh,
So
nice.
he could fundraise for the funds. If the town had some funds, we would help him pay for that. So this way we could be able to have the tee boxes. Then they would look into where we stand for like sponsors to sponsor the hole. So say if Coles Road Brewing wanted to sponsor a hole, you'd walk up just like you do at Timberland. It'd be a tee box, a tee card of this is a par 4 sponsored by Coles Road.
Okay.
That would be phase 2. Phase 3, then we'd like to go into tournaments where, we would let them utilize it and rent the facility out for the day to hold the tournament. They run them supposedly the same way they run a shotgun golf course, either 72 or 144 people. And when we heard the number of 144 in tournaments, we got a little taken.
Got a little nervous?
Got a little nervous because then parking came into it. And
Yeah.
they guaranteed that the way they currently do it now is because some of the locations they go to, they have to pay to park. So what you would do is you'd send out amongst their community of disc golfers that they would utilize commuter parking lots. You have the one at Walmart, you have the one across the street by Chili's. So they would utilize those. So the team would come in one car instead of 4 cars.
Gotcha.
Which we counted the parking spots. We believe there's right around 136. So even if we had a shotgun of 72, it still leaves 60 other parking spots.
Okay.
Open. So I think that might have covered.
In theory.
Well, you mentioned phases and everything, and the gentlemen do the tee boxes for free. What's the overall cost associated with this and for each phase?
So his rough number that he came up, that's right around $15,000 to $20,000 from start to finish. That's buying the baskets, buying the wood, buying and doing all of that. I currently have enough money in my budget, because I think the town could really benefit from a new amenity to cover the cost of the baskets. And we would install them. So that right there knocks off right around $7,000. And then we would systematically see how we would go through the tee boxes. If they fundraised for them, or if we had some funds in our operating budget to cover them, we would like to go that way as well.
Any type of a time frame you're looking at to start implementing this?
I would hope that Mother Nature decides to dry out sometime soon. Hopefully the baskets and everything will come in the beginning part of July, and we'd like to probably install them in August, but we want to walk with the committee, make sure that the holes are exactly where we want them. Like certain holes that are in consideration, if you look at hole number 4, that's down on the bottom of a gully. We know that's really wet. You still can't get in there and mow, and it's got standing water. So we know that's not a good location. Hole 5 is kind of in the backyard of a couple of residents. I spoke with the resident who lives near hole number 5. He was actually really excited for it. He was like, absolutely, I get it. He goes, this has always been passive recreation and out there for everybody. But I would imagine not everybody's going to be as open-minded and willing as him. That's why we want to do the soft rollout.
Yeah, thank you. That's
Number 8, hole 8 is right where the start and finish line is for cross country for McGee. So we would want to move that as well.
yeah.
Now, all this area also that we're going to be developing this course on, is that grass that's already been mowed, or do we mow that, or is it,
Currently, the Parks and Grounds Department mows all 72 acres. We try to do it every 10 to 14 days. It's been a little tough this year because of how wet it is. But we've probably been out 3 times in the last 14 days mowing. So there's no added work on our part for it. So, because we currently maintain the area, there might be a little bit more weed whacking around the baskets or around the tee box. What we'd like to set it up is we'd like to set it up that if there is a rental or anything that goes on, it goes into a fund, kind of like the Sage Improvement Fund does. So this would all go back to taking care of the disc golf course. So this way it's no burden on the taxpayer. It's being paid and funded and utilized by the people who are using it. Some courses have gone to a QR code and an honor system. You walk on, you hit the QR code, it pops up with a link to disc golf. You donate $2, and then that goes into an account. I don't think we're there yet or ready to set something up like that. But that is our long-term goal, that this would all be handled, paid for, and taken care of by the disc golf community. No added expenses to the town.
So I heard a lot about this disc golf. It's, it's catching on, but, as mentioned in the previous presentation, there's not that many courses around. I think it's a great idea, and, it'd bring more people to Berlin too.
And they kind of did a rough number, and we expect to be like right around 5,000 to 7,500 rounds of disc golf a year out there.
And that's like is that, I mean, where does that fit into most of them, but about what they are, or?
Yeah, exactly.
More or
That's
less.
what he figures. That,
That's about what it is.
a good centralized located course, that's about what you would get.
Is that the gentleman that came to Park and Rec, made the presentation?
Rob Lemire, correct?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I
Um,
was there, I saw that, yeah.
We would try to run it the same way we run the tennis courts and basketball courts in town. We'd
Okay,
like to have an open date and a closed date so that we don't have people out there during the winter shoveling the tee boxes.
right.
Due to slip and fall protection, we don't manicure or maintain or do anything to that area outside of the season.
Yeah.
It's because it's just too much work and we don't have the equipment to get out there.
What's the average cost of disc golf now?
I could not answer that question.
Can you, gentleman here spoke on it, plays all over. What do you play for around?
You've gotta come up, gotta,
Sorry about that, didn't it?
otherwise our town clerk, we get in the naughty box, it's not good, we don't wanna make Kate angry, yeah, we don't want the evil eye from Kate.
As far as the.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, there you go.
As far as the per round cost, a lot of courses in the state of Connecticut are free.
Okay.
There are other courses across, even, across Massachusetts, there are some that are pay for courses. There's one that's on Tower Ridge, which is the old golf course that is now currently like collective disc golf / Talcott Mountain Brewery.
Okay.
We're familiar with that area that's been recently developed. There's a
Oh.
massive 18-hole disc golf course that's there. Those rounds, they have they don't have town support, and so that's something that's closer to the $10-15 range around. There are some private courses. The #1 rated course in the world is actually located in Leicester, Massachusetts.
Hmm.
No, it's called Maple Hill. So if everyone-
No.
it's branding. But a lot of the courses are owned by the towns and the municipalities. A lot of them do not charge specifically. There's a lot of support, but they are funded through mechanisms. Some of them run leagues. That's something that can also be pursued. All leagues tend to have some type of course into your admission to the night if you want to do that, which can also be a self kind of sustaining mechanism for finances.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Thank
it's for the future maybe, right? If, it grows and we have some
Absolutely.
expenses, we can always, look at some minimums, so like we do for other Park and Rec activities too, right? I mean,
I really like the idea of it. I think the fact that you were talking about as well, I think it was Toby who was saying that, it allows, an ADA course, which
yes,
there
that's,
aren't any.
that's
if I
a,
remember
that's a
correctly,
really
in the state.
great
So,
part of
I mean,
that.
Kind of
That's a
puts
great part.
Berlin on the map a little bit, makes us
Yeah.
the first to be able to do that.
Yeah,
And,
that's pretty cool.
we already support, Special Olympics and things like that in town. I just think it's a great idea, as long as we get it set up, appropriately.
the right
I think
way,
it's
yeah.
a great idea.
So do people, much like golf, I know it's really not like golf, but it is, do they lose their discs in the rough, so to speak, or in the woods, or, I mean, do a lot of, just curious, how many do they go through?
This is definitely my longest session ever up here.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
So the disc golf community is pretty good about returning lost discs.
Oh, okay.
I have all my discs with my name and my phone.
Ah, gotcha.
If you lose it, somebody finds it, they'll text you, be like, hey, I dropped it and
Oh,
found back.
okay.
And the lost and found boxes for courses are run by volunteers. And I already said to everybody, I am more than willing to run the lost and found box,
Oh, nice.
especially because a lot of other courses and a lot of donations I have gotten are lost discs that have never been picked up. So that also feeds back into the schools or to the Y or to whoever wants any discs
Yeah.
for free.
What'd you say they were? 10, how much are they?
They could be as low as 6. I know a bunch
Oh.
of shops have used ones,
Oh, gotcha.
$3-4,
Yeah.
up to like $20.
Okay, so not,
So,
not
and
overly,
as many as you want, as little as you want. It can be as affordable or as expensive as you want it.
yeah.
You know how they whip down that road with all this increased cars and people and walking and crossing over. We don't have a flashing light over there, do we, currently?
I do not believe we do, but I believe that was something Mike Ahern was looking
Okay,
looking into.
he was on earlier. I see you, Mike.
Oh, we'll be asking him when he's on. No, it's all right now.
Yeah, I think that if they could
He
put
left. Look at
something
him.
where you can cross over, there you are. Good evening. Can you hear us? You're muted
Muted.
intentionally, I'm sure.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear us.
Oh,
We can't hear you.
We can't
Mike.
hear
Your
you.
Microphone's not working.
So we'll just make up what you said. So you said you're working on that and you're gonna get it done quickly. No, we get
Yeah,
it.
you have an agenda item, better get that fixed.
Yeah, right.
yeah, that would be my only hangup is I know that road, they come whipping and there's a lot of trucks that cross over to get to Middletown there. So I would advocate for putting some, either, flashing light or something right where that, crossing is there.
Is there flashing light? I thought there was a
No,
flashing
there's
light by that
not.
crossing. There isn't, right? There's a big sign, but,
Put signs recently.
right, we never did it though.
Yeah,
yeah.
we need some.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's-
that's,
I
yeah.
mean, there was an event there this weekend I stopped at, and there was this huge box truck that was not, and I'm like, really, buddy? I mean, flying through there with a lot of people, so.
Yeah, we could
I
definitely
hate
look
to be
into
a
that.
stick in the mud, but I think we definitely need to,
And I think if we were to do an event with like 144,
Yeah.
any event over a certain.
maybe a cop
Park
or
and Rec,
something, right?
Yeah.
Send
right.
it over to the police department from them
Yeah.
to decide. if
Yeah.
we-
Traffic
Yeah,
plan.
traffic, yeah.
And then there also is the opportunity, if we decide to say no to tournaments, we can say, we don't want any.
I think it's a great opportunity for the town, for the kids, for the school. I think that's
People got
fantastic.
hurt. We don't want
I
people
just
to
know
get
because
hurt.
I was there this past weekend and these cars were just whipping and not slowing down.
It's the whole reason for our other issue we had, right?
Yes,
Was
yes.
tra-
We've all spent enough.
We have
we-
some
we
other
look-
stuff.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
exactly.
but it's a,
exactly.
it's an old country road that
Yeah.
now we're,
They get on
dumping
there
a
and they
bunch of
just
traffic.
go. They don't slow down and they don't stop.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Nice presentation.
Everybody else. Have a good night.
I think we're
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
So disco's dead.
All right, moving on to agenda item number 4. The Mike is working here,
Yes,
catch basin and street sweeping.
Mike.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Now,
there you are.
Just to add on to the
Yeah.
disc discussion, one of the thoughts we had was to put, on Main Street where Kensington Pizza is.
Yeah,
there's those rectangular, they're like the signs where you hit a paddle and there's flashing lights with a
Right.
pedestrian sign. Those are relatively inexpensive, like they're not like $50,000 each. I think their range is 7,000 to 8,000 per unit. Some of them can be solar powered, so you can put them in without any wiring. So they're kind of nice if you have remote, like Pistol Creek. I don't know where the electricity is up there near Timberland. Pistol Creek, but you could put them on each crosswalk on both sides. And if someone hits a paddle, all 4 would go. So both directions. So that's
Yeah.
one
I think-
option.
That's a great idea. Irregardless of this, new thing, I think that something should be put there. Because it's getting used a lot, so, thank you.
Yeah, that came up, Arosh and I talked about it probably several months ago, but,
Okay, good.
so
Thank
it's percolating. Okay, Arosh, we ready to roll on number
Yeah,
4?
yeah, if you all want to talk about catch basin disposal of environmentally unfriendly stuff.
Okay. So we're, and Mayor Mark, yeah, we are cleaning out almost every accessible catch basin in town. So the number is around 2,500. I think you had asked about that before.
yeah, wow, okay.
As part of that, we're, collecting material from the sumps. We also collect material from our street sweeper. That gets deposited behind animal control in that yard. Eventually, we have to get rid of it. So it has to be, it's not hazardous unless they get something hot and they let everyone know. But it is a non-regulated material that has to be disposed of properly. So we put a bid out to test it, transport it, and dispose of it, and we get the waste manifest. So that bid went out. We got two bidders to respond. One was Countrywide at $110 a ton, and Stacks Construction, who had the previous contract, came in at $135 a ton. We checked references, look good. For Countrywide, the low bidder, and staff is recommending awarding this contract to Countrywide Disposal.
Okay. A non-regulated material, that's unusual to hear. I'm sure that won't last long, but, okay, questions, folks?
Just a
Yep.
question.
Surely.
Do you segregate the street sweepings from the catch basin material?
I don't think the guys do. I think it goes into the same pile, and then they do composite sampling. So I could check with Steve on that, but I think that
I-
it basically, we've been doing this for a number of years, so the material that comes out of both get commingled, so to speak, and then tested.
Usually the street sweepings is less expensive to get rid of than the catch basin stuff, but
Oh, you know what? I'll talk to Steve and maybe we'll change our ways.
I don't know if you generate enough to make a difference, but you might look at that.
Okay, we will.
Good idea, Charlie. Anyone else, folks? Okay, appreciate it, Mike. No other questions or concerns? We will go ahead and take a motion.
Move to authorize the town manager to award bid number 2024-12 to the lowest bidder, Country Disposal Services of North Haven, for testing, transport, and disposal of various environmental regulated materials at a rate of $110 per ton through June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second that.
Hearing no other comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved.
Great, thank you. Then item number 5 is the recycling processing agreement with Bristol Facility Municipalities Partnership. Mike, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you. Yes, this is the third agreement I've been part of. This is the Bristol Recovery Operating Committee negotiated with Murphy Road Recycling, which is on Christian Lane here in town. And this is a 5-year agreement because the current one expires in June of this year, next month, basically. So the new term will be July 1st, 2024 to June 30, 2029. They, Murphy Road tweaked, and the operating committee adjusted some of the tonnage and increases on an annual basis terms in there, as well as increasing the detail on the insurance requirements that Murphy Road has to provide, as well as some updated adjustments based on the commodity rates. And also there's contaminant surcharges. For example, if the load comes in 25% contaminated, they'll charge $150 a ton versus the 95 base fee, and so on. If there's 15 to 25% contaminated, they'll charge $150 per ton on the contaminated portion of that load. So this, it's quite a lengthy agreement. I think it's in your package, but Corporation Council has reviewed it. The other 14 communities or 13 communities are going to be signing this as well. So I'm asking you to authorize Arosha to sign this agreement so we can keep going for the next 5 years.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Mike. I was looking at this acceptable recyclables list. I guess I was curious what so I didn't know that. The glass jars, they don't want the lids, huh? No caps or lids? I didn't realize that. Oh, well, I guess, I've contributed to contaminated recyclables. Without knowing it, but it's good to put, do folks, we used to put this out. We used to get something from the town. Maybe it'd be worth it to at least, is it on the
Probably to
town website?
resend it would be-
Yeah, I mean, because there were,
Little
people
postcard.
forget on what you can put in there. We always try and
Yeah.
follow the rules, but, right?
Winds up costing us more to recycle than if we send it as garbage.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's kind of,
Gotta recycle, Charlie.
Yet they accept metal.
well, that's why I'm
I
looking at it
know.
like no cap. So you got a metal cap, but they take metal, but not that cap.
Well, that's a good idea. We should.
Yeah, we should get it. It's been a
Yeah.
while. I know we sent something out I mean, I remember seeing thing years ago, but it's good to know though, try and
Yep.
follow the rules. We can. Okay. Any other questions, folks, on anything?
This is kind of like Mattabassett. There's nowhere else to go, so.
Yeah, no, of course, we have no choice. A lot of this stuff, limited contractors for it. All right, if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to authorize the town manager to execute an agreement entitled Acceptable Recyclables Processing Agreement between Bristol Resource Recovery Facility Operating Committee and the town of Berlin and Murphy Road Recycling LLC.
I'll second
Second.
that.
Thank you, Donna. No other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
The next item, number 6, is South Kensington Firehouse air conditioning installation. Doug, you want to come up here because you have 4 agenda items? And These are funds that we received last year from the Connecticut legislative grant. There are some projects that are knocking off, so Doug's actually charge of most of the money.
Welcome, Doug, and thanks for help. I know you're working on the baseball lights, only because I've heard from some folks.
Mr. Wood's doing wonderful things and we're gonna shared services.
Yeah, yeah, me too, yeah, yeah. We'll work there, they're up.
Or else.
Being this Thursday, the lights that are missing.
One light goes out, they all go out.
Yeah, right. Is it true that we have, was there money we put aside for LEDs or no? Is it,
It was identified in the
What?
last grant, which did the field.
okay,
That was moved down on a priority to accommodate the turf at the high school.
oh, okay,
If we had money left, we were gonna
do it,
lights, so we
okay,
exhausted all those funds, but.
okay. So it's a future plan now. Yeah, yeah, we got good stuff done. Okay, I just was curious. Oh, thank you guys for getting us. Huh? The bulbs? Thursday.
We are-
Yes,
We are still, tentative for Thursday for round one of.
good.
Round one of repairs and then.
Yeah.
repairs on the schedule.
Okay, great.
Just to kind of expand on that a little bit, it's,
Yeah.
it's costly to bring in the apparatus and the crane. So
Yeah.
Try to wait for, make it worthwhile, not
Right.
spend a few $1,000s to change the bulb, so it gets to the point where it's lighting's deficient, or we get a complaint that it's a little dark in an area.
Yeah.
Get 6 or 12 bulbs out, then we'll bring a crane in.
I think that's what, this stemmed from folks who were complaining about the, you know,
That
dark.
way, we've been fortunate the last
Yeah.
few years that, they work and then all of a sudden we'll lose a bank of them.
Yeah, but did we ever use does the fire truck work, the ladder truck or no? Is it-
I don't believe we've done that, but we could ask,
Is it-
that's training potential.
I wonder if they could like, might be training for them too, right?
Do have some nice apparatus now. so.
Yeah, I mean, I would think they might be interested in, you know, it's training too and helping us out, right?
If it saves the
Yeah.
town money,
Yeah.
why not?
That too.
I was up there and these kids are throwing 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, if you want to see
not-
that coming.
Like what I played, you know. But, yeah, it's kind of dangerous.
On the priority list now and.
Appreciate that.
challenges, and we think we're gonna work more towards a planned maintenance approach.
Yeah.
In the fall,
Okay.
thought was always, we'd hate to do it at the end of the season because then they sit all winter.
Oh, yeah,
Try to do it in the spring and then
Right.
it's wet and then
Right.
everybody's schedule, so
Yeah.
it's the challenges of the egress too, that.
Yeah.
Out of the field, we have to be careful about the crane. We can get to 3 of the 4 poles without utilizing the field access.
okay.
Up at Zipadelli, it's incline the hill and.
Oh, yeah,
Sort of back close under the pole, so that
okay,
drive across that field now, so there's just some logistical challenges with
sure,
the proper equipment. It's not like a town bucket truck or we can climb up there and just change them, so.
right.
Some coordination, and some challenges, but it's,
Now, will they be, LED?
these are just the halides still, metal halides.
Yeah, we didn't do it yet.
But
We're gonna change them
the
all.
goal is to
Yeah.
fit that LED time comes.
Yeah. What would that, I mean, that cost would be, LEDs are kind of pricey. I know they last a lot longer, but
We did have some
Yeah. what was,
preliminary proposals.
Yeah.
From a national, any contractor.
Yeah.
This came up, we're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. Well,
Half to $1 million based on, for all the fields, all 3 fields.
right,
You
right.
can get the DOT bulb and have that nice purple hue over the field.
We'd really have a tough time seeing it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys working on that. You know, again, I think Peter said he heard from some residents, as did I, so
Yeah,
appreciate you guys.
I've heard about that from,
Yeah,
people at church where, their grandson
yes,
plays over there
yeah,
about the lighting.
yeah,
And we did also look at it prior through an energy contract.
Yeah.
With Eversource, but the problem is there's not enough usage because it's a seasonal facility.
yeah,
So there's not enough incentive money available
gotcha.
to offset the cost.
Yeah.
So it's in a tough, we're in a tough spot based on.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful facility, doesn't get used all season, so therefore the incentives aren't there, but
Right,
we have a plan little by little and through capital and through the energy programs, we hope that one field at a time and then. time.
great. Appreciate that. You guys working on that, taking care of that.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Councilors. We have a few items before you tonight. Any questions on anything? We'll just go down the list. Some wonderful grant opportunities to do some infrastructure work for a few of our projects. And some just renewals, and the on-call bids went out again. It's been a great program. Used through all the town departments, the Board of Ed. Wonderful, a lot of repeat contractors and then some new ones. So it helps us. Any projects, a lot of things around the threshold of capital now. Purchasing guidelines, so the 0 to 10,000 is no longer now, it's the 0 to 25. So this program allows us to call people as things come up throughout the year. If the projects and scope grows, we can just increase the PO accordingly, so. Pretty much preset rates, hourly rates, we know their daily fees, and all reputable people, some new ones that we haven't worked with yet, but forward to working with the people that responded.
You want to just highlight agenda item number 6, what you're doing with starting with that, the
So the
Kensington
first one-
Firehouse, yeah.
Back up, excuse me, the first one is be their air conditioning for South Kensington Firehouse. Fire committee put a statement of need together, I guess you could say, for what they'd like to do with the building. The roof was completed this year, past fall, right before the winter. Now the request is to do air conditioning for the hall. Gonna do some flooring, some ACM asbestos mastic on the underneath the VCT for the second floor. Like to do that abatement, redo the floor. Some electrical and fire alarm upgrades in conjunction with the air conditioning. And some other just safety items that are coming up, but you have a couple million plus worth of apparatus in that building, so.
Yeah.
Next thing would be to keep it cool,
Sure.
try to utilize the hall. The hall's been really underutilized.
Hmm.
Just because there's just exhaust fans up there now. So
Oh, okay,
it's an old schoolhouse. It's beautiful up above the ceiling.
right.
Beams, a lot of.
Oh, oh,
So this project's a little challenging, getting up there, custom ductwork, installing everything. We're kind of limited to where we can put the condensing unit based on the way the building's designed. But we have a good plan. It's a great contractor that we work with, very reputable in business for decades. And able to help us with this one. They did include some engineering. We initially reached out to how to approach this, to design bid it. But our A&E fees were anywhere from 5 to 50,000. It would just take more time and more money, so we kind of did more of a design build approach with this contractor who took the risk of some engineering. Feel confident that to work with all other vendors to complete the projects.
All right, that's great. Yeah, I know it's been long.
Yeah, so they're excited. They can really start to use it again, rent it out. I think their goal is for some training of the staff up there.
Oh, yeah.
Old programs, and it's pretty antiquated.
Yeah, I know it needs a lot. I know it needed a lot of work, so. it's
Basically
gonna-
off limits in the summer just due to the heat.
Yeah, sure. All right. Any questions, folks? I know we've talked about this stuff before. All right, so hearing no questions, motion, Charlie?
Move to approve the proposal from current on-call mechanical contractor FJ Hubany of Plainville, Connecticut, in the amount of $46,500 for the design, engineering, and installation of air conditioning equipment to service the second floor of the South Kensington Firehouse, as this is in the best interest of the town.
Second?
Second that.
Thanks. Hearing no other comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved.
Great, thank you. Agenda item number 7, this item, we've been talking about it for a while about
Hallelujah.
senior housing center generator project. We went through a bid process. Last time we had the results, but Doug had some follow-up questions, and we are ready to move forward with the lowest bid here.
That's great.
Add, Doug?
As Roche said, we had a chance to follow up with the two respective contractors, one local who had a different approach and preferred not to bid on the base work that was requested. So this other generator contractor, very reputable, had a great conversation. They understand the scope, the phasing of it. I feel confident that they could do everything we asked with what we have.
Oh, okay, great.
It's pretty cost effective, and it will allow us afterwards to do some infrastructure work. We've been battling for years, some groundwater transformer that comes into the building.
Oh, yeah,
Rodent
okay.
infestation, infiltration. So
Oh,
the generators online, we'll be able to transfer over and do that shutdown work that we've
oh,
never been able to really do because it would impact the housing authority, the senior center,
right.
shutting down basically the whole facility. So it's
Oh.
coordination, anybody that's on oxygen.
Oh, right, yeah, of course, yes.
The building was wired back in '85, the renovation was done through the first grant.
Oh, boy.
We had a portable generator that used to back into the building in the event of a power loss or a storm.
Yeah.
That would come out, they would transfer over. Basically, all that ran was we have heat and a few lights, but no air conditioning in the summer.
Yeah,
Service outlets were questionable, so
way overdue.
seems to be in the best to repurpose what we have.
Yeah.
The whole building, both sides, but
Yeah. So this will allow us to do that once we get this in.
this will, yeah.
Yeah, great. Good.
Help you. Some lead time on some switch gear, the transferred switches.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
a little unique that the housing authority and the senior center are independent.
okay.
They run independently, but This generator is gonna do both.
Oh.
A way to do that electrically.
Oh,
It's gonna take some time, but while we're waiting the 4 months,
yeah.
year, they can do the prep work.
Oh, nice. That's great. Oh, God, long time coming. This is wonderful. Finally, finally.
Like, over there, click that.
Yeah, I know. Let's put the generator on. Let's just see how it works. Wow, that's great. Yeah, we want to be there. Oh, yeah, I think that's gotta be, that's a ribbon cutting right there.
Absolutely.
That is a ribbon cutting for that generator to get flipped on.
You know why it's happening?
Why?
Because it's only the town staff that's working on it.
I think we understand that, yes. Very, very, very well. I'm trying to be nice, but
Check
yes.
Check
But
didn't get lost in the mail on this one.
no check on the, no, no check in the mail.
Better hurry up, and make a motion before somebody changes their mind.
All right, any other questions for Doug? Thanks, Doug. Appreciate that. Getting all this rolling here. So we're gonna take a motion, Charlie?
Move to approve a transfer of 56,000 into the public buildings generator account in the capital non-recurring fund from the DEP Silver Lake account, $25,000. The Economic Development Fund Community Connectivity Grant account for $19,400, and Economic Development Fund and storm-related overtime, $11,600, and general fund pending approval by the Board of Finance. Move to award bid number 2024-11 to Northeast Generator of Bridgeport, Connecticut, the amount of $56,000, which includes a 30% project contingency pending approval of transfers by the Board of Finance.
Take a second.
I will gladly second that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? So moved.
Great, thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you, Doug.
yeah.
Agenda item number 8, this is another initiative that we are doing with the legislative grant that we received last year, back to the senior center re-roofing.
Yes, we did get some cost estimates from the architect if we were to do this in its entirety. Fortunately, we don't need to because we wouldn't have enough money, but did do some repairs over the last few years with an on-call contractor, local firm who did a few section of the roofs as we had to. It was leaking so bad that didn't make sense to do any more spot repairs. So 2 sections were already done, so this worked out great that
Yeah.
money now will allow us to do the remaining sections,
And then they'll all be,
our portion of the building. Not the
our
entire
part,
building.
not the entire building.
So there's a small but discrete line that separates our section to the housing authority, but
Gotcha.
ours will be new, plywood sheathing as needed. It's all done with a 30-year warranty with the manufacturer, the
Yeah.
film paper, the tape.
Mhm.
codes. And there'll be money left to do the mechanical equipment within the roof. There's a makeup air unit, exhaust system that's well antiquated, decades old, no longer parts available. It's almost inoperable, but it is part of their program. They do need it, so we do have to do a curb, flash that in, get new equipment. So luckily there'll be enough money left. Roof's done to do that work, potentially even some more money, do other work at the building. But just following the language of the grant, we need to get the initial scope done. With the language that it sounds like we can utilize in the remaining funds for additional work at the facilities.
And they're stripping the old asphalt, right?
Correct.
Is I know that's not our thing, but the housing authorities roof there, the other section, is that leaking a lot too? Do we know? Do you know?
Not aware, we do communicate with their management team.
Yeah.
The company, third party.
Yep.
That manages for them, so we have to work on systems. We haven't been made aware of any efficiencies or issues, but.
Okay.
We do keep in contact when things come up for the facilities.
All right, good to know. Okay, any other questions for Doug?
I was just glad to see it get done.
Yes.
Great.
So with that in mind, we'll take a motion, Charlie.
Move to approve an estimate from on-call contractor BMA Construction of Berlin, Connecticut, in the amount of $29,970, which includes a 30% project contingency for re-roofing and related carpentry work at Berlin Senior Center portion of number 31 Colonial Drive. Is this in the best interest of the town?
Take a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? All right, so moved.
Right, thank you. You have one more, I think you already spoke a little bit about it. Agenda item number 9, this is awarding bid numbers 2024-13 through 23 for on-call facilities related services.
Counselor Payness is gonna earn his ice cream tonight after reading all these.
So I already have a suggestion.
Charlie, Charlie.
So I wanted
Huh?
to give you a hard time about it, but I'm gonna suggest that
That's too
where it
funny.
says following vendors, that, the last sentence, the motion that you say that the, vendors is listed on the agenda.
I'll share my ice cream with you. Thank you.
Yeah, get it. I got it.
Share, yeah, you better buy her own.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the motion, sir?
So, yeah, I mean, we all good, folks? You have questions on this? What are we, yeah, go
I
ahead.
just had a couple questions and I'm
Yeah,
probably not as important, but
no. Go
minimal now amount of the bids came in with mileage above the IRS federal rate. And I didn't know if that's something that we go back to them and discuss with them, because I mean, I think the federal rate now is 67 cents a mile, and there was one that came in at $2.50 a mile.
Yeah, it's, believe it or not, it's very challenging that it's as clear and transparent as this was bid, the amount of questions, confusion, and lack of information that was submitted with these, so. We didn't want to, fortunately, we didn't want to throw anybody out for some lack of administrative or grammatical or clerical errors, but we do quote out work, we can vet all that out and question anything that does come in on an invoice. But it was more kind of their hourly rate to know that they're qualified. We're not obligated to call anybody. We do try to share that work as it comes in. Certainly, it gives us a basis to work off of. And full transparency too, that one thought is with the new purchasing guidelines and criteria, we did add in some language to allow for encumbrances over 25.
Hmm.
But less than or up to 50. Because a lot of times we're in that threshold of cumulative, we're gonna do a little job, it's $5 grand, $5 grand, $5 grand. Next thing you know, the PO is up to 55.
Right.
You have to come back to council to increase it. So we just thought for efficiencies, financial efficiency, but still working within our guidelines. Just to know that there is a risk, but also too, that there's not enough money identified really in any operational budget that would warrant $100,000 worth of work. It would have to be somewhere else in a capital account. So
Right.
it's the language is a little higher, a little excessive what we may actually ever utilize, but should something come up along the year, unforeseen emergency repairs, we do have that language that allows us to act on it. Certainly keep the council updated.
Okay, yeah, appreciate that. You would just keep us updated on stuff every so often. You know, you're here all the time, Doug. Just tell us what's going on with some of this as we move forward.
This year, for
You've been doing it though. We've been doing it, right?
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's worked well.
Yeah.
And this year, for instance, it's all the timing. It's the sine wave, the roller coaster. This year, for instance, the high school, we're almost $70,000 in contractual repairs between maintenance agreements, breakdowns, and a lot of things that are 10 years old. So this was an off year as far as what we typically would expect on maintenance. So a lot of our agenda items have come for more financials, just to increase the PO from typical wear and tear maintenance or things that one typically see annually. So.
Right. Okay. No, that's good. Any other questions, folks?
No.
All right, we'll go. Charlie, you're on.
Move to award bid number 2024-13 through 23 for on-call services and approve expenditures for both cumulative and single encumbrances over 25,000 and up to $50,000 per bid number per vendor for fiscal year 2024-2026, while not exceeding the total contractual services approved budget in each department per fiscal year. For the following vendors is listed in this agenda item, as this is in the best interest of the town.
Second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, so moved.
Thank you. Have a wonderful week. And
All right.
holiday
You too.
Yeah, you
you.
too, Doug. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right. Come to the standing agenda item here, this is item number 10, the town manager search.
Mhm.
So after last meeting, decided to reach out to some search firms, spoke with Jeff, CCM, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, try to get some recommendations and International City Managers Association, ICMA. They also have a website with firms that do consulting. So there were 5 that we decided to contact. One is GovHR USA, Municipal Solutions, Slavin Management Consultants, Randy Frank Consulting, and Municipal Resources. And then CCM they have a consulting search service they provide for executive searches. So I have a conference call with them tomorrow to find out more about how that would work. So 2 firms actually responded, and I forwarded that information to you. I'll send it to you as I get it. One was from GovHR USA, and then the Randy Frank and the Slavin Management Consultants, they are working together as one firm this time. So I tried to get firms, a lot of these firms, they could be based out of town, but I looked for firms that had done town manager searches, executive searches in Connecticut. And a lot of them have, like Bloomfield and Newington and other places that they have done. So on their reference, they talk about the searches they have done. They have also listed their references. I encourage you to look at the references at this point. I'm doing the same thing. I asked Paula to do the same thing to see if there are people that we know. When it's time, we can call and do the reference check ourselves. I'm hoping that we would get at least couple more, and then get 3 that's good enough, but we can then narrow it down and, make a recommendation. You can either decide to, couple of you to work with me to pick a firm. They are coming around 15,000 plus expenses and all of that, around 25 grand. That's that's
kind of the rate.
2 firms have coming in, which I think is still reasonable. It's below the 20% of salary type of.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna
I
say, yeah.
use it as a benchmark. And they're fairly consistent with what they're charging other towns, because they can't charge municipalities. It's not like a law firm or
The law firms, yeah.
or
They're rough.
even a big corporation, right? Or even colleges and universities pay a lot more money. Right? So law firms
Jeff.
don't have to do real estate.
Jeff, we get Jeff for a bargain. He's our bargain guy
So
with all his experience.
here's the caveat here.
Yes,
Looking at what they're proposing for time frame,
yes,
it at least 120 days from the day we sign the contract and say go.
right.
There are lots of things they have to do, interviewing people, creating a position information,
Yeah,
town profiles, reaching out to people, asking them to apply, doing the background check.
Oh, yeah.
Then, they do all that work before they send
Anybody.
finalists
us.
to you.
Right.
Then after that, the person's working, they might have to give 30 days notice.
Yeah,
So my recommendation to you is we run this process, but by end of June, early July, you should be interviewing someone for the interim position.
oh, the intern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a couple of folks have reached out to me, they've reached out to you. I give whatever I get to you.
Mhm.
So that's a council decision. You will have to have someone.
yes,
If you get someone, that's great, but I highly doubt if you go through a traditional search process, with the time it takes to do all of the work, you're gonna have someone here end of July, beginning August. So you probably need 30 to 60 days, maybe 90 days, I don't know, depending on how long it takes to do to find the firm.
takes a long time for the
Right.
full-time job. It's a long process, unfortunately. You'll be off, sailing the world. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, no beach. I got work to do.
I got work to do.
Only doing beach stuff.
Good for you. That's
Yeah.
all I say.
I didn't make copies of these proposals.
I saw them on there. You sent it to us. Yeah.
At some point, I will,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to just chop trees.
Yeah,
If you want them, I can start making copies and sending it to you.
If you want somebody to work, I'm around all day.
Okay.
Can put a committee together, I'd be more.
Yeah, probably a couple of us
Yeah,
will,
I
we'll,
think
we'll
maybe-
try once we get, what do you want? What do
Yeah.
you want? Looking for, what do we have? Two, I saw two.
Yeah,
Right.
one was the
Yeah.
Randy Frank, I think.
Yeah.
And then the other Gov HR, Randy Frank, I was looking at their reference and all that. They have done a lot of searches
Yeah.
around here. And so was Gov HR. I was trying to see if they have particular ones they outline.
Hmm.
Yeah, so and there was one group that some of these folks have done searches in Texas and Tennessee and all that, but I didn't think they were be a good fit. The probably understanding the local market would be helpful.
Yeah, which one's that one? What was the one in, what's the name of that one?
One was the Gov HR USA.
Oh, yeah, that,
The
yeah.
other one was Randy Frank with Slavin. Consulting.
Yeah, Roche, I'm also around during the day too. I have the same job Peter does, so
So
you need anything, let me know.
Gov HR has, they did this town manager for Bloomfield, Enfield, Granby, Manchester, Simsbury.
Yeah.
And they have other town positions they have done. So I'm just looking at some of the other materials they sent. A lot of them have done stuff in all over the country, but mostly in Connecticut too. So I'll keep,
Yeah,
so like these guys, Randy Frank and Slavin, they did town of Weston, town of Coventry. These are all executive search for the first selectman, selectwoman. City of Cambridge, town of
we
Plainville,
did.
Plainville. Yeah. So there are some good options here, Granby, Groton, Cheshire.
Oh.
And their references do have,
How long has the Cheshire manager been there? Would you say last year? Oh,
and
the manager, how's the manager's? Really? Okay, gotcha.
then our neighbor to the south will be doing one too. It's another one,
Um,
right? Because they had a,
oh, yes, right.
with the town manager.
Yes, correct. Yes, they had, there was a whole Meriden had,
Yeah.
oh my God, that guy. it was-
Check, but.
They've got a problem.
Southington, they promoted their they have an assistant town manager, so they promoted. that
Oh,
person.
okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
no,
We had one way back. We did away with that slot, right? Remember we had one? Yeah.
I will have some advice to you about that when my last meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be the structure we can think about. So,
Yeah, so, I mean, send them to all of us. We'll look at them. We'll put our, we could all talk, well, maybe one evening we'll have
yeah,
a
maybe,
meeting, a separate little meeting with. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, we all need to put our 2 cents in. And maybe we have a special little meeting or something.
question, Jeff, like if
Right,
you're having
yeah.
the whole council, even at a unscheduled time, I can't have all 7, right?
Well, it depends on what they're doing.
Mm.
If they're interviewing any candidate, that's a non-meeting under FOIA.
Interviewing.
But
Yep.
organizational meeting, you
How
just,
about organizational, like looking at these firms?
You're looking at resumes.
No,
firms.
firms.
I mean,
Public-
picking a search firm really isn't personnel.
No, we haven't done anything yet.
No.
Yeah, okay. So that would need to be,
I mean, if you, instead of appointing a committee, which then
Yes.
becomes a public agency, just have a
Right.
non-quorum,
yes,
just have 3 members of the council
okay,
interview search firms. It's a
Okay.
non-meeting.
okay. Once we get to a couple that we,
I think you ought to start scheduling them now, to be honest with you, before the summer gets here.
yeah,
You know,
The interview search-
Randy Frank and Slavin is a good combination.
oh, yeah,
Definitely interview them.
okay. Well, I was gonna ask you that.
They
if
do a
you-
lot of Connecticut searches.
Oh, okay. And that's one of the, that's the one you said, right, because I recognize the name, yeah. I looked at it
One group
briefly.
and Gov HR, also a lot of Connecticut firms. So
Okay,
perhaps
so,
we can do that.
yeah,
For the committee interviews, maybe you, mayor, and couple of other people, this way it's not a
Yes. Yeah,
I don't know whether one of you want to be involved.
I would say, you know, Donna's got some time during the day. Myself, it might have to be, you know, late in the day, and Peter or Mark, maybe just three of us to start. And then ultimately the whole council is going to be involved, of course. Is that, you got one of you, just one of you two, just three of us, right? To not go crazy. Yeah, we're just picking the firm. I mean, I think the firm is the firm, right?
It's important for you to understand the process.
Yes.
And also get to know the players and
Yeah.
what they do behind the scenes.
Yeah, even if you know, Donna and Peter together, Mark, whoever, just call, I mean, during the day, I could take some phone calls too, you know, so if I'm not actually there.
I'll start scheduling these two. And maybe I'll
Yeah.
have a couple more soon.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, I think that's good.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's good.
And then think about the interim position. I think by early July, you probably want to have someone like.
Yes. Interim, yes. That sounds like a plan. Okay, excellent. We all good with that? Good, good. All right, good.
I think
All
that's-
right, what do we, we're at, the VNA. Yeah, we have a volunteer. That's excellent.
Yeah, I was
So-
glad to see that they were on the board of directors for the Lower Valley VNA. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I know. I was
Good
looking at,
experience that should bring.
yeah, that's great. Good. All right, so so Kate, which one are we taking on this? We got one.
Should be 11.
11, okay. So we'll go ahead and take a nomination for the VNA replacement, which would be until January 31st, 2027. Nominate.
I nominate Russell Marth.
Yeah, thank you. Any other nominations for that slot? Hearing none, close the nominations. All those in favor of Russell?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. Welcome, Russell. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, town managers report.
Right, great. I'll start with Viewpoint with Dennis Quaid.
Dennis
Hosted by
Quaid,
Dennis
yes.
Quaid. So I send you the materials.
Yeah, I
all
looked
of
at some of
you,
it. I gotta look at it.
Copies, it's in front of you.
Yeah,
Hopefully you got a chance to look at it.
yeah.
So I had my initial conversation with the,
By the way, before you get started, while we're talking about shows like this, the radio show the other day, Friday, went good. You know, we had all the
so.
town, a lot of town, you know, we got Lorraine there, Historical Society, it was a, you know, good group.
yeah, he was very.
It was very right? What did he
was
say?
Surprised.
Huh? Yeah, they were there they were in and out a couple times. But, right, I mean, so it was very right, and they got, what did
I said the same thing a lot of other people who are not in Berlin say, oh, I didn't know there's this great town here. I thought it was the Berlin Turnpike. Was the-
oh, yeah, there you go.
Then he was really pleasantly surprised and thankful that so many people showed up
Yes,
to
from the town,
talk about the town and
yeah, what they do, yeah.
what they do, and they were
Yeah, the
very
Lions
proud
Club
of
come
what
talk
they
about the
do.
fair, that was a
Yeah.
nice one.
So they said he had a good feel for it, and he said, "Oh, I wish I had more time because I love talking to you guys." You know.
Everybody was, you know, it tells it to everybody. No, no, we had a good group show up, and a lot of people said some great things about the town that, you know, people don't know, and you got to hear it on the air. So yeah, that worked well. But now I'm sorry, now
Now,
to,
this one, not
Is it
to
different?
compare to that, I doubt that Mr. Quaid is going to be anywhere close to the Berlin Turnpike. He is, so this is a educational series that they do on public television, 3 to 5 minute segments. And they also do, you know, it's most educational, right? To talk about, give some examples. Did any of you had time to look at any of the videos?
I didn't like the videos yet.
You did?
No. Oh, no,
Why not?
yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Right. What do you think?
Very interesting.
So look at it to get a flavor. You have to look at it. It's 2-3 minutes, 1 minute. They're educational programs. So it's hosted by Dennis Quaid. He comes
Yeah.
in and says, "Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to talk about this."
Welcome.
And bam, it goes to the it's
show.
very nicely done.
Yeah.
Then at the end, he comes and says, you know, this is Dennis Quaid, thanks for watching this program. Next time we're gonna feature this.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's talking about Berlin, but the idea behind this is it's broadcasted on public television, 3 to 5 minute segment, 60 million households get it. And then there also do corporate profiles, that's an ask. That they send it to, these are again, educational content depending on the market that we want. So for example, if some non-for-profits ask for like a fundraising. If you want, what is the message you want? Do you want young couples to move here? Or do you want employers that you and I here, when we go for ribbon cutting, they can't find people to work? Are there employment opportunities we want to tell someone?
Right.
Do we want to recruit people for the schools? So these are things we have to think about, and they would work with us to target those
Messages.
a 5 to 6 minute corporate profile.
Okay.
They also have internet media. They send it to like million emails. They're not spam. Again, targeted to send in these documentaries with a link that you can generate certain campaigns depending on your message. And then also there's commercial television airings, which is they say about a 1 minute segment from MSNBC, CNBC, CNN News, Discovery Channel, Fox News, all the major networks. Right? So all this is nice. There's a cost.
A mere price, yes.
There's $26,000 plus if we decide to not to do it in their Florida thing. That's another follow-up question I have. What does it mean if you're recording it in Florida? Do we all have to go to Florida? Or they're going to send the crew here? That's another 3,500. So call it 30 grand, right? So I am having a follow-up conversation with him on Thursday.
What's the cut on Dennis's? What's Dennis cut?
I don't know what he's getting, whether he's doing for free or whether he's getting something out of it. But I would ask as a council, is this something you want to do?
Yeah.
Put aside the money first.
Well, yeah,
You're
yeah,
trying to do something nationally.
yeah. I'm
Put
not sure.
Berlin on the map.
Not sure what that's about. Yeah. The disc
Well,
golf.
you know who may be interested is the historical district with the meeting house.
Yeah, that's something.
For a
Well,
fundraiser, right?
For a fundraiser purpose, yeah.
That's
yeah.
I
one
mean, if we're
we
gonna
can
pay,
do.
we might as well get something
Yeah.
out of it.
No, I agree.
mean,
Well, that's the
yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Here's the other thought that I had.
Mm.
If we are going to one ask is to help us find folks to come and work here
Mm.
in manufacturing or in
Right.
some of these industries that we have, people have difficulty recruiting. Would the companies be willing to pay something, right? A couple of grand,
True,
come up.
yeah,
with,
maybe,
So,
Mm.
um,
yeah. Well, how did you leave it with, you?
I said, he's asking me, oh, can you do this? Can you? I said, oh, whoa, hold on.
Whoa, slow down.
People all think I have a lot of power and authority. I have nothing here. I have to
I
go
have
to the
nothing.
council. What do you think they're going to talk about 30? I said, hey, it's an appropriation. It's not in the budget.
Right,
That's how
right.
government
yeah,
works. We don't have, I just don't have $30,000 sitting there that I go write a check and give it to you.
No.
So,
No, but there is the opportunity to perhaps recruit for some of the manufacturers in
yeah.
town. If you get something like that
Yeah.
done, you can send it to some of the technical
Historic.
schools across the country,
Bowling is good.
so.
Probably should talk to our businesses first, some of them, just to see what they,
Economic
yeah, so
yeah, we should talk to a couple bit,
I was
just to
just
see what.
wondering how much is in their budget.
Yeah.
'Cause it could be good for.
Well, it could
economic
come out of
development.
there, but I want to hear what the businesses have to say about that. What do they think? Will it help them?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We don't know.
I asked Chris to join me, Chris Edge.
Okay,
just to
good.
talk about
Yeah.
businesses and if there's an angle that we can explore.
Yeah, okay.
But, and I'm hearing and I'm also not recommending.
Yeah.
That we spend 30,000 on this.
Yeah,
I'll
Right.
tell the guy, we'll be happy to participate
Yeah.
if the amount is this.
Yeah.
Tell him we're so special, he should pay us.
Well,
Yeah.
Huh.
Special, right.
So, I mean, I guess I would say, tell them we're thinking, we're working on it.
Yeah.
But we gotta, if we, the business angle, yeah, I would want to talk to the manufacturers just to say, would this help you or not? If they really don't think it would, then I don't know, on that angle.
And also this will require a lot of,
But, good point. If they're excited about it, then maybe that's different. Yeah,
$2,000, right?
yeah, right. Yeah, if they're
Good
interested.
point.
Yeah, we can talk to him. Yeah, we should get a list of some manufacturers that we know.
Well, they're pushing, not everyone has to go out.
That's right, I know,
Exactly,
they are.
yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking for help and stuff.
Yes, oh, I know. Now we know that.
A friend out in Wyoming who owns technical schools, he's redone them all over the country. He used to do one in Brantford and stuff here, and he's recruiting from all over the country
Okay.
students to go there.
Yeah.
And, he's finding jobs for some of them in certain parts of the country.
Mhm.
But, a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of them want to come to the Northeast because a lot of
Really?
them are from,
What's
Midwest.
wrong with that? No, I'm just kidding.
no, a lot of them are from the Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
So they want to experience
Something different.
something
Little
different.
different, yeah.
And that could be one pipeline, you never know.
I mean, just alone on Christian Lane, you got, 4 manufacturers.
Yeah,
right in a
a
row,
bunch.
with Precision.
I just want to
Punch,
hear what their need,
Everybody there.
how they want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there isn't. I don't know, there's
Would
interest.
Mr. Edge be a good guy to approach these folks, put him on it?
But he's going to join me on the call.
Yeah, they're
to
gonna.
See if
a little
it's
bit.
something they can do and
Is it just like, what is it, just like one message though? What are they,
no,
do they?
multiple. They're
I
like
mean, so you
70
could
things.
certainly roll in the historical stuff. That'd be kind of
Historical
cool.
stuff, work
Just to get
history,
people interested in the town, right? And
some
then you
town
roll to
leaders
that,
giving
if that
ideas,
all
like,
works out.
do we promote the town anywhere in a tourism magazine? We don't.
No.
Have a look, I can't find anything.
But they were professionally done.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I'm
So-
sure they
Yeah.
must be,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
I
were.
mean, are
Yeah,
there
I'm sure
things
they
that
are.
tourists can come and see here if you're visiting?
Yeah,
there are
that's-
Things to see. Yeah, I know. Magazines used to have,
Yeah,
I remember that.
right, they did.
Yeah. It's all online now.
Online, yeah.
But while we're on that, our economic developer does a good job on Facebook.
Yes,
5 things about Berlin.
yeah.
Oh, he does a good
Does.
job.
Instagram. It's
If
all in
you got a-
Berlin.
You got a professional producer, they could tie the historical district to the manufacturing, even on the radio show. I learned all about the tin business in Berlin.
Yeah,
You could tie that into the modern. space
Patterson
age
brothers,
stuff,
yeah.
you could-
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I went 3rd grade with the Patterson.
third grade.
All right, so.
Yeah, let,
Continued, I'll talk to him.
yeah,
get
let's,
More information, but I would urge you to look at some of
Yeah.
the videos. I send them so that you can look at it. Yeah.
are the videos on the,
yeah, all
is the
links
video
are
thing
there.
good.
Everything is
He's
there.
on
The
the
links are
email. he
there.
sent us.
oh, on the email was the
Yeah, you
video
click-
thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll,
Yeah,
on
wait,
this email here, gotcha, yeah.
Couple of minutes. It isn't.
Yeah, no, I'll look at them. Yeah, we'll think about it, I
Dinner, sit
I
on the
don't know.
couch and watch Dennis Quaid,
That's great.
if you like him.
Only if he comes here.
Do they do commercial stuff too? Do they do commercial,
But commercial is what? Like,
Well-
Give me an example.
I know this is a non-subject, but I'm working with a guy and we're looking for someone to tell about the story of Wounded Knee
Okay,
and how they got Congressional Medal of Honors for killing women and children.
you on before.
I'm off now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, huh.
But,
Purpose, okay,
so I know, maybe I'll get some information.
okay.
For that separate topic, yeah.
Oh.
Huh? Really?
All right.
Hmm.
All
right.
Couple of other items,
Yeah.
working with Jennifer on this. We talked about affordable housing, deed restricting. We're getting close to June. Reaching out to the state, the statutes allow us to do it, but she's confirming that with the Department of Housing. And also we need to file with the state on what we are doing. Those things will take place.
Oh, yeah.
Need to reach out to the tenants, tell them, communicate, this is what's happening about deed restriction. We are giving them, we put this in the budget, 3 months of no rent, sign up. Give them an opportunity to come to town hall, meet with me. I'll schedule some time, Jennifer and I together, so that they all understand what the deed restricting means.
Oh,
Few
yeah.
Spots we can get. It's pretty good if you can do that.
Yeah,
July, the new leases begin. So
Okay.
I want to get everything done by June 30th, the latest. uh,
okay.
With the Department of Housing,
Mm.
filing the deed restriction affordability plan with this for state's review, and then sending soon after Memorial Day, we'll hit them with a letter that the residents there
Oh,
currently have 4 vacancies. It's a good time to do it.
oh, okay.
And then
That's it's 4 vacancies at,
Deming Road.
Deming Road.
people
Okay.
For various reasons.
Okay,
Right.
yeah,
So that's
gotcha.
one. And then remember we were working on a backup telephone system because of we had only one system and
Yes.
it's been down.
Yes.
Didn't have any redundancy.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was like a PRI analog system. Brian switched it to like a SIP mirrored. So there are 2 different systems that are running and they are independent of each other. So, and then on top of that, there is a addition to the belt and suspenders. There's a tertiary plan, which means all of the telephones can be rerouted to cell phone numbers designated if both systems fail. So highly unlikely that will happen. So that's all and running now.
Oh,
Just
good.
did, It's all good.
Good.
All right. Upcoming June 4th, we would like to have an ordinance committee at 6 o'clock
Okay.
for the council meeting. And we have a modified, well, we need to work on that.
The noise,
Worked on a modified draft that we sent to zoning and the PD. They had some comments. We need to incorporate that, bring it back to you.
Yeah.
And then get your comment
All
and
in.
public comment and move on with that.
yeah, that's
then-
about the noise ordinance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we also want to bring Golf Course Commission ordinance. In 2020, the Golf Commission members came, the ordinance committee, and they said, well, we don't, we are worried that you're increasing fees and we might not be able to make the budget. And so we, the council, or you, the council, gave a 1-year reprieve to say, do your best, peg it to market, do your best to, your expenses not to exceed revenues, and we'll revisit this in a year.
Yeah.
Well, that was February of 2020. What happened March of 2020 was COVID.
Yeah.
We all just let it go.
Mm.
I want to bring it back before I go,
Okay.
so that we will bring, what I would recommend is to have some language that would require them to spend less than what they bring in, but for any given reason, if you run a deficit, I'll give you an example. If it rains every weekend, they're going to certainly not get all the revenue. So give them a 3-year rolling average. So you make a deficit, next year you make it up and come back in a 3-year period. I highly recommend not to remove that language, because not the current members, it's possible people would say, well, why do you want to charge at all? Make it an amenity, make it free. And then the burden will be on all taxpayers. That's my recommendation. I'll draft some language.
Okay,
bring it to the
yeah.
ordinance committee for you
Yep.
to react, respond.
Yes. Yeah.
All
we
right?
need to-
And the last one is June 6, 2024, we have the second staff recognition day, 12 o'clock at the VFW,
Oh, what time, when is that?
June 6th, 2024. We're going to, for years of service, say thank you to the staff and
And that's where? VFW?
VFW, yeah,
Yeah. What time is that?
noon.
Noon.
That's it. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. What are we at? Special committee meeting? I don't think we've had any right now. Council or communications? What do we got? Anybody?
Just a quick question.
Yes.
You determined, as I mentioned to you earlier about the parade on Monday?
Oh, yeah.
March.
We
what-
we
or-
try and ride.
I can't even spell.
Okay,
Mark.
so are we all riding on Monday, and what time are we gonna meet at the church?
Yeah, we'll be, we gotta be there by what, I think 8:30 we usually get there? 8:30 or 8:15? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We got. What, rain, I know, I don't think they're
Already?
settled on that. Yeah, they don't, I don't think they're really settled on the rain on that day, right? They said no, now that I think they're saying yes again.
They don't.
Oh, if
They
it's
don't.
raining, we're not riding in a convertible, that's for sure.
No, we'll put the top up.
We'll stagger to the club and call it quits.
Well, I have it at, what do they do? They have it at VFW, right?
Yeah.
They'll do a,
Just a ceremony.
just a ceremony, yeah, so we'll have to wait, but yeah, it would be between 8 and 8:30 and on, the, Peck Street there on the side.
By St.
towards the
Paul's
front.
Church, yeah.
Yeah, so there,
Okay.
so and then we'll figure out if they don't change it by then. Cause
Are
they
we
used to
all
do it.
riding?
Well, well, we have to find the suitable vehicles, which is another little problem, but we have one vehicle which fits some folks, but we might be a little crowded in one, even though it's a big vehicle. So a couple, maybe we need another vehicle, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Huh? If
I'm
you have
looking.
another, we have, the one we used to last year, it's such a boat, man. The, what is it, 1971 Ford LTD? Yeah, that thing is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so big, it's like you are on a cruise ship.
30 gallons of gas.
Yeah, oh, yeah, just to go down the street. So we have that, but yeah, if you get another car,
I'm looking.
yeah, if you get another
I'm looking.
car, we'll, we'll
Yep.
tag team it down the way. Yeah.
Bring a bag of candy, throw.
Oh, candy, we throw candy too.
And dog biscuits.
We're doing some dog
Okay.
biscuits too. That's kind of yeah, that's the thing.
It's sponsored by the dentist.
The dentist, yeah, the dentists love us.
Dennis should be making a donation for the candy then. I
Yeah,
guess.
they should. Yeah, so definitely, yeah, and they'll put us right, and they'll start off, we'll be kind of in the front, they'll line us up. So yeah, if you find, Peter, you're Mr. Car Guy, you should be able to find a vehicle that, is suitable.
Get a couple Mercedes, convertibles
Sure.
for us, that's all.
That's it.
Somebody suggested one year we rent a Ferrari or something. I said, well, I don't think we need to do that.
Yeah. You want to see me and Peter get in and out of that?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Can't get out. Sorry, we can't get our guys out. I don't know. The rent-a-car company could try and get them out somehow when they get back.
You gotta pick up.
Get those little
No.
cars the
Yeah.
Shriners use.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
All right in one of those.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, whatever you guys can do, absolutely happy to have you there with us. That's great. We could actually, we probably all could fit in that car, right, Peter? We could probably fit in there, but it'd be a little bit cramped.
Yeah.
But we could do it.
Is
It's
it a convertible?
no,
No?
no. So we're good if it rains.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. No, it's quite the
Be
sight.
hanging out the windows.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. That'll be good. That's good. What else? Anything else? So what do we got? Councilman, the approval of the minutes there for May 7th. Take a motion.
I move we approve the council minutes from the May 7th meeting.
Second.
Because I've left at 9:19.
You were kind of in and out, so.
Yeah, why don't you, I'll second.
All right. Thanks. No, that's fine. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Opposed? So moved. And we are at our motion to adjourn. All right. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're good. So moved. All right. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, relatively fast. Got done fairly early, not bad.
Comments?
Considering we had the hearing too,
Best
Did have
parade
fixed
thing I
some
ever
stuff.
saw. Is it the Big E?
Wake you guys up before you go. Thank you.